Uh-oh. It's about to go down in here. Go down.
Yeah, que lo que mi gente, welcome back. Bienvenido back to the Organic Fanatics podcast or famcast as we do it out here. We appreciate you guys. We want to thank the Most High always first for having us on another day, having another wonderful blessing day with my cousin, mi otro hermano de la patria, my brother here, sports fan pronto. Salute to the new Knicks out there who may not be joining us. He's out there working and doing this hustling thing. Gotta do what gotta do. We appreciate you guys for joining us here. I am your host, Ruel, aka Castle King. Let's talk Machete. Machete, talk to him.
What's going on, Primo? What's up, Ruel Castle King? Shouts out to the new Knicks. Shouts out to Knicks Nation. What's going on, family? Bienvenidos. God bless. Let's talk some Knicks.
Let's go. And we got coming back again, as always, with our much welcome brother, mi gente, sports fan pronto. Talk to him.
Yo, what's up? What's up to the chat? What's up to the panel? What's up to mi gente? Ya tú sabes que lo que you're. Let's get it popping.
What up, Alex?
What up?
And gente, thank y'all for joining me. You know how we do is our times that we chitty chatting. Appreciate you guys, everybody in the chat. Salute to all you out there, everybody watching. If you're catching the replay, whatever it is, we appreciate all your comments, all your feedback.
Good. Let's not forget all our Miami Heat fans watching.
You know, we know Jay Blake. Salute to the real ones, 305 representing. I appreciate y'all. And today's topic, which we'll talk a little bit about the little FIBA thing, but really what we're talking about today is Grimes and IQ the missing puzzle piece for us as a championship team? You know, as far as they coming along. So if we think about it, we got pretty much everybody else under contract. We got Mitch under contract. We got Jalen Brunson under contract. We got RJ under contract. We got Randall under contract. We got pretty much even
we got Hart. We got even DiVincenzo.
iHeart too. iHeart's still under contract. We extended the contracts for Deuce and even Sims. And technically we still got Grimes because he's still on his rookie deal. This is going to be his third year on his rookie deal. And this is the final year, essentially, of IQ's deal, which we'll get into a little bit about that. But as they play, we got Grimes as our starting two. Do you guys think that's still correct, that he's still going to be our starting two? Or do you think there's anyone else that's going to be the starter? Or you think he's still going to be that dude?
There are guys out there who want to call for RJ back at the two. Because he's playing the two at with Canada right now. He's doing pretty good. You know, there are guys calling for that. I like to see him at the three. I think he could play 2, 3, and 4 the way he's built right now. But seeing him at the two would be awesome. I mean, that'd be dope.
All right. What do you think, sports fan pronto? You think that Grimes is still that legitimate starter that we need? You think his game plays to him still continuously beating our starter, or you think there's someone out there that we could be looking to get, or one of the players we have now you think going to be that starting two?
I mean, to be honest with you, I really truly feel like eventually we're gonna end up with Donovan Mitchell. So, if I'm being honest, that's just one of those things that has been in talks for years now, and it doesn't seem to go away, and it just keeps picking up steam, and I feel like that's gonna be maybe next year or the year after that. I don't know, but I feel like we're gonna end up with him. So, in all honesty, I'm just waiting on that to happen, to be honest with you. But for right now, I mean, RJ is killing it at the two. I mean, he's shooting like a true shooting percentage of like 60-something, 70% is ridiculous. If he keeps that up, I mean, he deserves to be the starting two guard. But I don't think I just don't think he's very good at the three right now. I think he's gonna need a little bit to develop into that. So I'm hoping that he can, for now, start at the two and have Grimes come off the bench. But I mean, you never really know with Tibbs. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of Tibbs. Everybody knows this by now, so it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
All right, and so in your scenario, like as Machete was talking about too, there's some people calling for him for RJ, I being him, which we'll get back to Grimes. But as far as RJ being the starting two, who would you guys put as a three, or who would be the three replacing RJ? Because if you're moving him down, he's a three now. He's a starting three. So if you guys are saying you move him down to the two, or people are calling down to the two, then who plays that three role?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. That's a really good question. Tibbs loves his vets, man. So I'm gonna say insert Hart or even Tenzo. I mean, really, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you're gonna put RJ at the two, you're gonna get a whole bunch of size with him at the two, but you're gonna get much size at the three. So it's like either way, you're gonna be handicapped a little bit. You know what I mean? So, it is what it is, man. At this point, I really don't know what to say, man. Having Tibbs as a coach is like, it's hard because he's so stubborn. He's so stuck in his ways that there's no give or take. There's no let's experiment. There's none of that. So it's like it's Tibbs, man. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, we ain't even been like 3 minutes in.
I sent you that text, right? I sent you that text earlier, and it's not just me. It's the players in the league, man. It's okay. I get it. It was so I sent them a text saying there was a vote of like 55 players that of coaches who they did not want to play for, and there were about like 7 or 8 coaches in the list, and Thibodeau was like number one that they didn't want to play for. And it wasn't even close. It was like Tibbs was at like 50%, and then everybody else was at like a 10 or 2 or 5. And it's like it just gives you a little bit of a mindset into what the players think. Like if you're a player and you're trying to establish yourself or make a name for yourself, or you want to make a career or whatever, if you're not Tibbs' guy, he's just gonna shove you on the bench. And he's just not gonna care.
What was the reasoning for them saying that they wouldn't want to play for Thibodeau?
That was one of the major reasons.
Wasn't it something like it because he plays them 44 minutes or something like that because he plays them heavy?
That was one of the major reasons. So like if you're a Tibbs guy, he's gonna run you like 40+ minutes a game. And I mean, that can go both ways, right? Because when you think about it and you think about Derrick Rose's career and all the injuries he had, like he was playing Rose 40+ minutes. And it was year after year, Rose had something going on. Shoulder, knees, ankles, eyes. He always has something. But Tibbs always ran them. So it's like, are you running them too much? Are you not giving them enough break? Or are you like, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe you should just change up your style a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Who else besides Derrick Rose has Thibodeau running to the ground?
I mean, I don't know, bro. I don't have the list of all his players. I'm not gonna lie to you.
This is just
Rose was the first one that came to mind because he was like, I mean, I guess he was injury prone, but like the first one that came to mind because he had like 17 injuries, like back to back to back.
Luol Deng got worn out by Tibbs.
Luol Deng, he was out the league like I think he never hit his prime. He left in his 30s.
Alex, there are also guys who love playing for Tibbs. You know, like Joakim Noah, Rose, Boozer, Todd Gibbs. Those are guys. Yeah, but Boozer's been out the league for like 5 years. You haven't heard from him in a while. He's been retired. But those are guys that do love playing for Tibbs. Jimmy Butler. These are guys who respect him as a coach because he's hard nosed. And yeah, he likes to play his veterans because he trusts them more. If you're a rookie, you're gonna have a hard time the first couple of years playing for Thibs. If you're a rookie, you got to build his trust. Ask Deuce, ask Grimes, ask IQ. IQ first year, first second year. IQ is a different story because he develops every year. He comes in better and better. So he's probably the one who's gained Thibs trust the fastest. Because he's shown an improvement over the years. So much so that last year he was, a Six-Man of the Year nominee. So he shows improvement, and Thibs at least trusts him and likes playing him. But his first year, he was getting burned. He wasn't doing too good. He was hogging the ball. Thibs wasn't trusting him like that. It wasn't until his second and last year that he started doing better. Look at Deuce. Deuce has been struggling since trying to get in there. But he's slowly gaining Thibs' confidence because he's doing what Thibs asks. You got to be a defensive-minded type of fella to play. These guys that are complaining weren't doing it. The other day Phil threw in showed us a clip of Obi cursing out Thibs after that playoff game with Miami where he wasn't getting any minutes. But what are you doing? You're not playing any defense though. You're in there, okay, you can score. You're good, out there when we can find you in the transition. He's fast like a gazelle. There's a lot of things that Obi did great, but he just wasn't really on the ball when it came to defense. He wasn't a defensive-minded guy, which is what Thibs wants first. It's a defensive-minded person out there that he can trust that no matter what, okay, if your offense is going to be weak, but at least your defensive game is on point. And that's what we got. We got a bunch of guys who prioritize the defense and rebounding first. Everything else will fall into place. But we have to play defense and we have to rebound, and those are the type of guys that Thibs like to play.
So you're telling me that Randall is a defensive guy?
But he tries. He's not a defensive guy. He never really was. But he also makes up. But he also makes up on the other end.
He's the
dude
best.
The dude is still a rebounder. The dude is still a scorer. He's a rebounder and he's decent. He'll get you he'll get you your double doubles almost every game. And he's solid.
I mean, that's the same point I made the other time I was here. I mean, yeah, he gets you 25 and 10, but Obi was giving you 25 and 8. Like, what are you really missing?
No, he wasn't.
When he was starting, go look at the stats, bro. Like, this is what's upsetting.
No. Kobe was not giving you that, man. Kobe was not giving you numbers that because if he was, they would have been playing him, but he wasn't. And I guarantee you that he wasn't playing, even if he was giving those kind of numbers offensively, he was not playing better defense than Randall. He was just not. He was not a defensive stop. Obi was not known for defense, dog. There's no time have I seen Obi being like Obi being a defensive stopper at all.
So Randall's known for defense.
He's not. No,
I take Randall for defense over Obi's defense. And they both.
Bro, I will take effort on defense over laziness any day of the week, and that's Obi over Randall because Randall just doesn't care.
I think the other way, man. I think that Obi was lazier than Randall on defense, dude.
No, Obi was not lazy. Obi gave you effort. Obi just didn't know. Obi just was not aware. And you can get that awareness.
Exactly, because he wasn't a defensive-minded person. He's not a defensive-minded person.
You can get that by playing.
He's looking for the open ball. He's looking for them to throw him the ball, lob him the ball, but he's not trying to snatch the ball, steal the ball, make a defensive play, defensive rebounds. I didn't see that from Obi at all. At all. Defensive rebounds from Randall, definitely rebounds.
We were supposed to be a rebuilding team. Tibbs was not supposed to be the coach for a rebuilding team. He is not the coach. He's more of a coach for a team that's already set and ready to take that next step. We were supposed to be a rebuilding team. When we drafted Obi, the plan was get rid of Randall and start over fresh with the young kids. We partially did that. We partially didn't. Why? Because of Tibbs.
Hold on. Because we made a hard left and we're hitting 130 miles per hour. We'll talk about. So first off, to hit some of the points that you were talking about there, as far as Tibbs talking about burning Rose down to the ground, that to me, that's more of Rose's style of play. a lot of physical players who play physically dominant, who make hard stops, who are more athletic than they are skilled. You see that consistently in their history. Even Kobe towards the end was breaking down Achilles, ankle, different thing physically is going to break down when you're physical. That was more of his game more than gameplay. Anybody who comes to the league and wants to be a star or wants to be that dude, what do they want? Playing time. And you're talking about that they don't want to be with a coach that's going to give them almost unlimited minutes if you can give effort. That's unheard of. Those 55 players need to say who they are. They're probably scrubs or people who got out the league real quick. Luol Deng wasn't all that. He was a good defensive style player who can kind of 3-and-D, but he wasn't very skilled. He did good. He got his money and he got out. He wasn't good enough to stay or maintain. Tibbs does have a trust system on if he likes you, and not only about liking you. Why does Tibbs like you? Because you're giving effort, you're playing hard, and you're playing to the system. It's about the team first, which he always says, team first, personalities later. You get your bread, whatever. If you do it for the team and doing what the team needs, you're going to get burn time. You don't, you're not. And that's what happened with, yes, we all know about Randall, and you're right about that as far as defense, and Obi did give effort on defense more than Randall. But you still got someone who's a two-time All-Star, All-NBA, so his stats matter. If you took Randall out, Obi couldn't sustain the offensive or anything when he was in there, not only because of him or the players with him, but when that lineup went in there, the other team would always catch up. They were supposed to increase the lead that we would have and hold down defensively. The other teams would make a run, and Tibbs was forced to pull them out. If they went on a run and he did his thing that he was dominating, he wouldn't get pulled out. And then they had to put Randall back in to get the scoring. That's what happened with that. As far as the rebuilding, this is what we're talking about now. We did rebuild. Our rebuild went faster than anticipated. The plan at the time, because Randall had the down year, the thumbs down, had the terrible year because we had Noel, catcher's mitt hands Noel that can't catch anything, not even a cold. When we had him that we failed, that's when we were going to get rid of Randall, Obi, we got him, whatever. According to what we're talking about now, the plan actually, I think, succeeded faster than what a typical rebuild would be. The players we got now and the team we got now are ready to compete in 3 years with this disgusting, terrible coach, aka Thibs. God forbid, we only made 2 playoff runs, 2 All-Star appearances, 2 NBA All-NBA seasons. How terrible! How dare he get us a winning record? He sucks. I don't understand that concept. I get it. You may not like the plays. Now he's in FIBA. He's out there in Europe, Sports Fan Pronto. He's out there looking at the coaches. He's looking at maybe the Steve Kerr system. Do you think, Sports Fan Pronto, I'm coming to you. Do you think he will adapt or he sees anything that could work and he makes any adjustment to what he's seeing of maybe how Brunson's being played, maybe how Canada's using RJ and it's being successful and RJ being effective? Do you think he can implement any of that? Or he's going to sit there and be...
I got zero faith in Tibbs, man. I don't even know why you're asking me.
I mean, you're the one. You reloaded. Do you have zero faith in the guy? Do you think he can get us to the
No,
East?
yo, like again, let me be clear. Has he done good things? Sure. Did he take us out the dungeon? Absolutely. But he got us as far as he got us. I believe we've reached the pinnacle to where he's going to take us.
Seriously.
Now with him at the helm, I do not see us going anywhere further. That's my opinion, my sole opinion on Tibbs. He's been our head coach for multiple years now. He does not change. He does not change his game plan with his personnel. He does not change the game plan for nothing. He is who he is. And we, again, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, we've reached the pinnacle with him. Now it's time for someone else to take over, and we're here, someone else to bring us up here. I believe, once again, he was like our Mark Jackson, if you will. Mark Jackson took the Warriors up there. You know, they were good, blah, blah, blah. Steve Kerr took over, and then they were fucking the best. Excuse my French. But, again, that's my opinion. I mean, you're not going to change the way I feel about Tibbs. Unfortunately, I love him. I'm glad that he was here and he took us out the dungeon, like I said. but I think his time is up. I think his voice it's gonna start to get drowned out, especially as we get knocked out in the second round or in the Eastern Conference Finals come next year or come this year.
Okay, but you did say we get knocked out of the second or Eastern Conference Final, so that's a win, isn't it? If he's getting us to the second round or ECF anyway.
I mean, that's what we're expecting at this point, aren't we? I mean, ESPN is talking about us going to the championship. When have you heard that in the past 20 years?
That question should be reverted right to you. If they
exactly
get to a championship,
that's my point. That's my point.
That's
we
my
are
point.
here. We are here. We are here.
Huh?
We're not gonna get past here with him. This is who he is. We need someone else to elevate us.
But if they say that we can make it to the ECF with who we have now and the coach we have now, most superstar, isn't that winning? Isn't that a win?
Sure. I'm not taking nothing from the man. I already said. I'm glad we had him. I'm glad he took us out the dungeon. But that's it. I feel like we've reached the pinnacle with him. That's it. That's my personal opinion. Okay. We're not getting past Boston. We're not getting past Boston. And if anything, we might not even get past the Heat, and they don't have a quote unquote superstar or all-star or whatever.
Don't make me hold this video accountable to you. Don't think we're gonna get past the Heat? Anyway, who did
we lose to? Who did we lose to?
Who did they lose? They lost two of their best players that they played good in the playoffs, and they haven't acquired anybody else. All they have is the same old team minus Vincent, minus Strus, who were their biggest players to play up there. They have nobody. Their hope is.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens with two players. We'll see what happens with Embiid, and we'll see what happens with Lillard. After that, we'll talk.
All right, shout out to the chat. We got Shy Legacy. Salute, Shy Legacy. First time I believe you posted on here. We appreciate you. Shy Legacy says, we just getting our feet wet, bro. Tibbs good, outweighs his bad, and we ran through too many coaches. That's clearly not the answer. So what Shy's saying is you got to stick to some kind of foundation, some kind of coach. We were playing merry-go-round with all the coaches. We were playing a hot potato with coaches, went through so many coaches. And his good outweighs the bad. His good is we've been in playoffs 2 out of 3 years. His good is we got Randall, two All-Stars, 2 All-NBA. We got almost 6-man player with IQ, who we're talking about today, who, by the way, this coach loves, and this coach empowered and got IQ to that level to be open and willing to be at this level. So as far as that, I think that does help, and that goes to our question what we're talking about today, IQ and Grimes, which will touch up on that. And when we're talking about Grimes, I think there is no clearer answer than Grimes for the 2 or starting. There's nobody better in his position that's better as defensive as a guard and even shooting. I've been watching his development this year. He looks really good. The stuff that he's working on, his catching and shooting, looks really good. His plays off the dribble looks really good. So I think Grimes is actually the clear answer. I think RJ would be a little too slow-footed. He definitely has the size to play 2, but he's a little too slow-footed to guard the best players in most teams. Most teams, the best players are 2 guard. He wouldn't be able to keep them in front of him. Grimes obviously is, which is phenomenal that we have a starting 2 guard in a rookie contract, which is phenomenal. So that's someone who is your missing puzzle piece. I think he is. I think he's one that we would keep long term. I think he's the obvious answer at the 2. I do agree that at some point Donovan may look attractive for the Knicks to want to go after. But if we're looking at the way Leon does anything, it's the money. And is he going to start? I don't know. I don't know if he's going to start over Grimes, unless I don't know. I do see him as that top talent, but I think Grimes can surpass him overall skill. Does he get to the point where he's given 40 points like Donovan or what? I don't know. I think he can give you. I think this year, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say Grimes is going to average maybe 14 points a game. And that's going to be pretty big. If he can average 14, that's second round for sure. We need a big year for him. I think he needs to average over 12 points. I think he is definitely a puzzle piece that we have. We got him on a rookie deal. No brainer to keep him on a rookie deal. And I think he's our 2 guard, not only now, but the future. I do like Donovan. I think Donovan we're enamored with him and his skill set. But overall, I think you got Grimes that's going to be a better player than Donovan long term. In the long term, that's his me. Machete, what do you think about Grimes? Do you think he's a puzzle piece? You think he's? I know you were saying maybe RJ. So do you still think that RJ would be better at the 2? And if you do get him to the 2, who do you think goes to the 3? He might be searching for them. I think he had to go somewhere, so I don't know if he did.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, man. I had to get my charger.
Yeah, no.
Ask the question again.
Yeah, I was asking you. So I'm saying you were saying you think RJ, or you heard some people talking about RJ to start at the 2. If that was the case, and you think that possibly, who would you put to the 3? And do you think Grimes is a better fit?
That's the question. If there's some people who would love to see RJ back at the 2, but then what would the lineup be, right? So we got JB at the 1, or if RJ at the 2, then maybe the first group would be JB, RJ at the 2, Hart at the 3, Hart at the 4, or rather Randall at the 4 and Mitch at the 5. And then if it was the second group, it'd probably be hopefully IQ at the 1, Grimes at the 2, and then DiVincenzo at the 3, and then Hart at the 4, or whoever at the 4 and the 5 between Hart and Sims.
So you,
and that's the way I'm looking at the starting lineups for the first and second group.
So both of you were saying if RJ was to be moved to the 2, that you both said Jay Hart to the 3. You think Jay Hart would do better than Grimes or DiVincenzo, even if
because of it, I say because of his experience and size, and I think that he's physically stronger than Grimes. Grimes is getting stronger, but like I said again, going back to Thibs only playing guys that he trusts, is because of that. I think it will provide the motivation for guys like Grimes and IQ to want to play harder this year, because their time's coming up and they're next to get paid. And it's probably more motivation for them to being benched or not being utilized like last year, and that will motivate them to play even better this year. It'll make them more hungrier. You know what I mean? So I would look at Grimes come with the second group at the 2.
The problem I see with that, and salute to Shah. Shah says RJ can guard 3s. He's not going to be able to keep up with the fast shooting guards, in his opinion. And I agree. I don't think he can stand in front of the 2s. The problem with that lineup, you both said Jay Hart, is shooting, which that was our major issue probably about a year ago. Shooting, spacing, which that's what Grimes gives you. That's why he'll be there. Grimes can definitely keep up with all the starting 2s. He did all last year. He's been a starting guard for 2 years. He slowed down everybody, pickpocketed everybody from Donovan to you name him. Jimmy Butler locked him up. Dame, not Dame Dash. Nobody pocket checks. So he pickpocketed Dame. So I mean, I think he's a no-brainer at the 2. He's definitely given us our spacing. So I think he is our future. The fact that we got him on a rookie deal is going to be huge, especially with all that contract money we were talking about. So I think Grimes is that guy. If you've been watching any of his training, he looks good. He looks like he's in shape. He looks stronger now. I think he's a fit at 2. I think it's an idea to throw RJ there, in case someone gets hurt or stuff like that. But to start off the year at the 2, he is playing well in Canada as the 2. But if you look at Canada, they do have other players that are bigger. You got Kelly Olynyk. They got other taller players that are naturally at that position and who can space the floor. So you got Kelly Olynyk at the 3 and 4. So you got players that can space the floor for SGA and for RJ, who are not that great at spacing. However, RJ's been hitting his shots really good at the 3-point. So what did you say, Sportsman Pronto, his percentage was out there for RJ? You said close to
it was like close to 70, his true shooting. His 3-pointer was like 60 something, and his 2-pointers were like 60 something.
I mean,
he was really high up there. Really high up there.
Those are huge percentages. The fact that he's north of 60 from I think it was 22 for 30 as of recent, as far as from the field, which is huge. Matches your numbers you're talking about. He won a game that he went 4 for 4 from 3s. he was about 50% on an average for each game that he played in the 4 exhibition games. So that definitely shows his ability and improvement for what we were talking about. And I think you should be happy as well, Sports Fan Pronto. You were talking about him finishing in the lane and finishing off the glass.
I'm super happy. I'm extremely happy.
That's
I haven't seen much of the games myself because I don't even know where they're being played, and I don't have cable, to be honest with you. But from the highlights that I've seen and from the numbers that I've seen, he's done it tremendously. Now he needs to take this and bring it over to the regular season from day one, and we'll be good. We'll be really good. I'll be extremely happy.
Yeah, I think Machete. I gave Machete props on that because he was saying that it's gonna do RJ good for going to FIBA. I wasn't for it. I was for him just staying 100% with Drew handling and just get the training the whole summer. So, props to you. So, what have you seen from RJ that you liked so far in FIBA?
Yeah, man. I mean, he's balling out, dude. I mean, they're doing perfectly. I mean, you couldn't get any better practice than what's going on right now with this FIBA action, dude. And it's proven. Every guy, whenever FIBA, every foreigner, Fournier, from Fournier to everybody who plays FIBA, they come back playing better that season. My only thing is the wear and the tear, because they're gonna in about 3 weeks after this, they got another 2 weeks, I think, because they got a week now, and this was the last of the practice games, I guess. So then they're gonna go into the real games next week, which are going to be really fun and exciting to watch. Alex, they're on YouTube. Sometimes you can catch them on Fox Sports 1. They're playing on those. I think they're gonna check Fox Sport 1. I think they're pretty much, or the YouTube. You can catch them on YouTube. They're playing them, on the FIBA channel. They're great games. They're fun and exciting, and you can't get any better practice right now. This is the best competition. You're playing the world, dude. These guys are playing for. It isn't about selfishness. It's about for your country. So we're playing as a team, and it's great practice for RJ because he's Canadian. He's playing for the Canadian squad. Their pride. They're against all the rest of the world, including us. Eventually, if we play them, the Canadians. I'm proud of the Dominican team, even though they lost to the German team last night. But they're a scrappy bunch, and they're fun to watch. And we're rooting for them because they're our tierras equipo. You know what I mean? And so we're proud of them, even though they're not a great squad, but they're doing good, man. They're giving those guys a battle, man. They really are. It was a good game yesterday, of course, till the end. Germany won, but it was a really good, scrappy game, man. We gave them a handful. The Dominicans did, and it's the American team. Forget about it, dude. I'm so proud of this American team. I don't want to jinx it, but it's gonna be really good if we win this. If we win this, and Brunson brings home the gold. What? Come on, dude. You know what that's gonna do for us? And then okay. So my only thing about that is that okay. So let's say we go that far. They go that far. The American team, okay, and we take it all. The only thing I would like is for them to rest them because these guys are gonna have a short turnaround, 3 weeks, I think, before training camp. After that, because it's not right around the corner, is to get him some rest, and hopefully Thibs won't play him as much and then give IQ that time. So then IQ can get his time in and get his numbers up. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then that would be great.
I think
that's what I would like to see. But my thing is that when Brunson and J Hart come back, just don't burn them out so much. Save them for the rest of the season and utilize IQ, utilize DiVincenzo.
Yeah, that Sports Fan Pronto's thing right there. Don't burn them out.
Yeah, no, but he's right because Thibs does tend to overutilize guys that he trusts, that they know his system. He trusts them. He knows that they're not gonna fail him because he wants to win. So he doesn't have the patience for guys making mistakes and us taking the L. He's gonna have guys in there that he can trust, who knows are gonna give him what he wants, who understand what, and not only that, guys who play for him, that want to play for him. Obi may not have been the guy who wanted to play for him because they just weren't getting along. Who was it? Flip sent me Nick sent me a clip where D Rose, when they were asking him who's Thibs' least favorite player, and even D Rose was saying that Obi was Thibs' least favorite player. I don't know. They just personalities didn't clash, lack of respect for whatever reason, it wasn't there. And so then coach didn't want to play him. It seemed to me like coach was always yelling at him. If he was on the court,
Like his first and second year was very tenuous because he was always. It's like if he couldn't make a mistake his first year, and I think that Thibs was just treating him like that during his tenure. But I think that Thibs does that to rookie guys to toughen them up for the next year. You know, he's one of those coaches that he's hard on you so that you get better next year. You come in later, and all those mistakes that you were making the first, second, third, first and second year, you're not doing it the third year. So he gains your trust. Look what Deuce went through. How do you think Deuce, that when he was messing up, when he was trusting him and putting him out there, and Deuce would mess up, that Thibs wasn't in his ass and pulling him out and not playing him? But he gained his trust. He gained his trust little by little. He's gaining his trust little by little because the kid does still go out there and perform. He still plays defense, and the way you show that you have heart and that you're playing for the team is through defense. You gotta go out there and want to defend that ball for your team, man. And I just didn't see Obi being like that.
And
he was great with the ball in his hand, scoring, but trying to get the ball back.
And that, Tip just plays people who, a coach, what does a coach do, man? He has a system, he wants you to run the system, he draws up the plays, and he wants players that are going to execute an effort, bro. That's it, execute an effort. When you're out there, take advantage of your minutes. If you don't, you're gonna get yanked. There is a short leash on being a professional, and when it comes to making a play, there's a short leash. That's what a coach is supposed to do. If you're not there giving what he's asking you or playing how he's expecting, he's gonna pull you. Which that's why Shaq.
Yeah, you could be. I love Obi offensively. I loved him, man. I mean, I loved him drilling those threes, running down the court like a gazelle. He was awesome, dude. I would have loved to have kept him, but he just wasn't giving it defensively. Yeah, I don't think he was just standing there defensively. He was just like a
even if it was defensively, he wasn't able to either match or exceed the offensive caliber of Randall.
Randall.
People want them to start over Randall. You got to be able to beat or exceed what he's doing.
Randall was an all-star 2 of the last 3 years, man.
So go back to who we got here, which you guys are right on that. But I think Shot Legacy says it. Grimes is already guarding small forwards and shooting guards. He's our best defender. And according to what we're talking about with Tibbs, defense is the name of the game, and that's what's going to keep him on the court. I think you keep him on there. Now IQ, you mentioned it, Machete. IQ came under the tutelage of Thibodeau. Thibodeau's been watching him and Grimes, and Thibodeau basically handpicked IQ. He basically handpicked Grimes. He basically handpicked almost all the players minus Obi. So there could have been some resentment on that because that's not a Tibbs type player. So the fact that Leon got him and probably Tibbs wanted somebody else, he had to try to figure out how he was going to play him, even though he's not his type of player. Tibbs probably felt like he was just forced by Leon as to play him because he was such a high pick, and it just didn't fit in the system. Grimes is a no-brainer. Great contract. We got him for another year. We got IQ, which Sports Fan Pronto was saying, gave him the bag, throw many, many bags at him. Give him the $100 million that he's asking for, wanting on there. This is his last year here. This year we don't have to pay him this year. We don't have to give him the bread. We can discuss money. And at the end of this year is when, he gets there just before free agency. Sports Fan Pronto's been on here talking about pay him the $100 million. Is that still correct? You still say give him that paper?
Absolutely. Why would I change my opinion? You already see the contracts that some of these players are getting. You got $200 million, $300 million. You don't think IQ's worth $100 million? At this point, they're talking about Luka's next contract is going to be somewhere in the $500 million or some shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's going to be nothing eventually.
Crazy, dude.
Yeah, like these dudes are going to be like easily 50% of the cap. Like these all-star, like generational talents. Like $100 million is going to be a regular contract now, basically.
Yeah, I could agree with that. What about you, Machete? You think $100 million is worth that paper for him?
Pay that man his money. Pay him his bag. He may not get $100 million, man. I thought they were going to give Mitch Rob at least $100 million. They gave him 80, right?
60.
Or 60 was it?
60. Yeah.
Nolan.
But Give that man a bag. He was through in his third year. You're a six man of the year contender, dude, and you're in your third year. You're only 24 years old. Come on, man. Pay that dude his bag. He's gonna earn it this year, man. He's gonna go out there. He's gonna ball the fuck out. The only thing is that how are you in the playoffs? I gotta see you play. I gotta see what you do this year in the playoffs. Okay, last year you got hurt. I give it to you. You were injured. It put you out. You blew your freaking knee in one game, and we couldn't play you after that. That shit happens, man. And I didn't see what I don't think that year we were in the bubble. He did decent when we were in the bubble, didn't we? We were in the playoffs. That we went.
Yeah.
He was all right. He didn't do too bad. I remember he did decent in the bubble, if I recall correctly. But I want to see another year of him doing well in the playoff. Let's see you how you do when we're in the first round. What happens in the second round? How are you during the regular season when we're resting JB and you're starting? And he's proven it. He's got 40-point games under his belt when he started. He had a 36-point game. He has decent assists, and he always plays defense. IQ. So I have a lot of confidence, a lot of faith in IQ, a lot of confidence, and a lot of faith in Grimes. Our whole entire squad, dude, but especially Grimes and especially Ice Cube. Those guys, Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? But those guys, yeah, they're playing because you know why? Because they're playing for Thibs, man. These are guys that are playing for their coach. They're playing defense. They're assisting. They're doing what they have to do. They're playing the game right. Those two are probably our most two intelligent players on the court, alongside with Brunson. That whole squad are quality IQ guys. If you think about it, the only one you may say has a low IQ would be Randall. If I think. All of them are high IQ guys. Randall and I think Randall and Mitch are probably the only low IQ guys on the squad. But DiVincenzo,
Randall and who?
Mitchell, but DiVincenzo, I haven't seen him play, but he's been on good, intelligent teams like the Bucks and Golden State. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he's a high IQ. Josh Hart is a high IQ guy because he wasn't he voted or rated like one of the highest deep rebounders in the team when we got him.
Number one.
Yeah, so he's a high IQ guy. Come on. I mean, Grimes IQ from 1 through 5 were high IQ, man. These are good guys, and these are guys I want to play for the at least one more year for Thibs, man. Let's see what happens. I think we're gonna go far. I think we're going to go far.
I think we got three more years with Tibbs.
Bar injury.
3.
I think we got 3 more years with Tibbs.
Yeah.
To the end of at least 3 more. At least 3 more.
We gotta have a legacy. We gotta do it like the way the San Antonio Spurs. These guys, they don't give up on their coaches like that. Not even Indiana, who just got Carlisle from Dallas after he won. Okay, he won in Dallas. Okay, he didn't do too good after that. And then he did a couple of years where he, all right, they traded him to Indiana. Indiana was starting over with Carlisle. These are guys, but they haven't gotten rid of Carlisle. Carlisle's been in Indiana as long as Thibs has been in New York, I think. But they're not giving up on him. We're the only squad. I don't know any other team other than the Knicks who in the last 10 years have had like 10 different fucking coaches. Other than the Knicks, dude.
Even Popovich that everybody puts on the pedestal of coaches, he was reaming a rookie, Parker, like reaming him. Same thing with all his players. He was never holding hands with them. He'll dog them, and then he'll be a dad to him in a sense. Like he'll pull him over, talk to him. But most of the time, he was firm all the time. Like, play this or I'm pulling you. There was many times he used to pull out Parker if Parker missed an assignment. If Parker missed a guard, miss some kind of play, he would pull him. Go ahead. What you got to say, Sports Fan Pronto?
Are we really comparing Pop to Tibbs right now?
Yeah, why wouldn't we?
Why not?
Why not?
How many rings does Pop have?
Well, how many?
He probably got 5 or 6.
He got 5. How many years?
How many does Tibbs have?
How many years has he been coaching?
How many does Tibbs have?
How many years has he been coaching for the Spurs?
How many does Tibbs have?
Tibbs has 1.
1. 5 to 1. Okay, now let's go with the years. How many years has Tibbs been a coach?
Probably 30. No,
no.
Maybe
6 to 7 years as a head coach.
Yeah.
As a head coach. As a head coach, he's been about
How many years was he a head coach with the Bulls?
3 or 4.
3 years.
4.
Nah, he was 3 years. 3 years.
No, I gotta look this up.
Nah, Fitz hasn't been a head coach that long, dude. Maybe in the last 10 out of 25 years, because he's been mainly an assistant coach. And a defensive assistant coach at that.
And while you're looking that up, look at how many years Pop has been a head coach.
As a head coach.
20
versus
years.
Fitz as a head coach.
You're looking at 20 years probably as a head coach.
Versus 40.
Okay. And look at also Spoelstra. How long Spoelstra's been a head coach and how many rings he got? He got 3 after being a coach forever, like 20 years. So when you're going to be doing the math, you got to be there sometime.
Alex, you got to look at also how long they've been coached and what their winning percentage is. I think Fitz has the highest winning percentage as a head coach. Or one of the highest winning percentages is Fitz.
Other than Pop. I think Pop.
Other than Pops. He was up there. He's over 500. He's got over 500. He's close to 600.
And even if you're looking at that, which is fine, or that's your stance as far as a coach being a winner, how many coaches in the NBA have a championship ring? Not many at all, if any. Not many coaches have.
Or the ones now, or the ones we have now. Even if
you look, that's right. Spoelstra has 3. Pop has 5. Like they're not out there. That there's just a whole bunch of coaches that are not hired right now that got a bunch of championship rings. It's hard to win in the league. It's hard to get that. Shaw Legacy says, Thibs literally came here and created a winning culture right before our eyes. I don't know when did we become so entitled to say good or not good enough to fire him. And that's just it. It takes time. Everything is a process. We came from a laughing stock organization where just 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we were 17 and whatever, 60. 17 and almost 70 and 20 games and 60. So we came from that era to being 3 years playoffs, 2 all-star players, NBA, 6-man. I mean, this is something that we're not looking at the progression and growth. You have to have stability. How many years? Right, you read it. I saw you read it.
No, it gives me the total. It says 30 years total, but that's combining his years as an assistant, blah, 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 and all of that.
He was about 3 years, maybe 4 in Chicago. Then he was 1 year.
No, so in Chicago, I could read that to you right here. So in Chicago, he had
I got it right here. I got his stats right here.
Yeah, go ahead. Let Sportsman Pronto read it. If you see anything different.
Go ahead, Papa. Go ahead. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Chicago was 5 years.
Okay.
Then he went to the Timberwolves, and he was there until
1 or 2 years, I think.
No, 3 years it looks like, because it says 2018. So that's 8 years. And now he has 3 years, so 11. So somewhere between like 10 and 15 years.
Just over a decade. He's exactly at 11. 3 of those with us. He had a winning record against Chicago. So he was winning, and that was even with the only.
Oh, yeah, he has a winning record. Yeah, he has a winning record.
And in Chicago, all he really had was Rose. You can't name me any other superstar or any second top level player that was there. Jimmy Butler was a rookie. He wasn't who he is now. So the only player that he really had was Rose. Rose was injured most of the time. So he had a winning record with Band-Aid players. Taj Gibson, who was a bench player. Joakim Noah, who couldn't shoot the broadside of.
Oh, espérate, hold on. I'm sorry. I think I just found it.
Boozer
so Chicago was 2011 and then to 2016. And then so that's 5. 2016 to 2019 was the Timberwolves. So that's 8.
Yep.
And then with the Knicks. So that's
there you go.
barely 11.
Barely over.
No, okay, so all right, so I'm sorry. I'm looking at Basketball Reference, Coach Thibs, Tom Theobald. So he's been a coach, an assistant coach from 1989 to 2009.
We're only looking at head coach. Skip all.
Okay, I'm just saying he's been coaching since 89 to 2009 as an assistant. He became a head coach in 2010, the 2009-2010 season. So his winning percentage, so he was with Chicago 5 seasons. His record was,
I think it was 600, I think.
okay, he had 5 seasons with Chicago, 394 games. He was 255 wins, 139 losses, which gave him a 0.649 percentage, over 600. 3 seasons with Minnesota, so it was losing seasons were with Minnesota. The 3 seasons with Minnesota. Okay, and he had 204 games. He went 97 wins to 107 losses, which gave him a 0.475. He was under 500. Then the 4th season with the Knicks, he was 236 games. And in 236 games, he's won 125 and lost 111, which gives him a just over 500%, 530.
Which is good. So he shows he's winning wherever he goes for the most part. He had a lot on his plate against Minnesota, being the president, trying to hire, trade, draft, and coach at the same time. All that to say, he's a winning coach, man. He's good. He has to win championships. It's defense. I don't care what Kevin Durant, the cupcake man, tells people that offense, they gotta cupcake man gotta do it. Because there's no way he's at, I think, 3 MVPs that he played for, and only won twice, and it was only with Stephen Curry. So anyway, offense does not win championships. And if I'm wrong, that means they're gonna win it this year. Phoenix is gonna win it because they got every offensive player that you could possibly have, especially your boy Sports Fan Pronto, Bradley Beal. But I'm bugging. I'll play with you.
I mean, I take it. I like him as a player,
Nice.
I just feel like that situation was just prime for the taking, man. We should have jumped on it.
It's that money. And that money goes right back to what I'm talking about.
But, okay, I'm sorry, Dwight. So I added up the percentages of the 3 years of the 3 teams in the, was that 8 + 4, the 12 years that he's been a coach. If you add up the 5 seasons in Chicago, which is a 0.451, and the 3 seasons with Minnesota, which is averages 200, and the 4 seasons with the Knicks added to 438. It really, he has a 429% average in the 12 seasons. So it's not a winning percentage. So Alex, Sports Fan Pronto is right. It's not in the 12 years. It's really it adds up to 429 in the 12 years that he's been a coach.
That's with Minnesota, because with Minnesota he was doing
because he had a really bad percentage.
If you put his actual coaching Bulls with the Knicks, you'd be over 500 easy overall.
Yeah, but that's cherry picking. You can't do that.
No, that's what I said. That's not cherry picking, but overall, he has a winning formula. Defense, players. This
guy's got so many coach of the years and he's got 2 coach of the years, but 2011 coach of the year, 2011 Eastern Conference coach of the month in January, 2011 Eastern Conference coach of the month in March, 2011 Eastern Conference coach of the month of the coach in April, 2012 Eastern Conference coach of the month in January, 2012 Eastern Conference coach of the month in March. And then again in 13 in January, he's conference coach of the month. And then in 21, he was coach of the year. And 21, he was Eastern Conference coach of the month.
Listen, to be real with you, at the end of the day, like what you said does make sense at some point. You do have to have top 10 talent to win in the league. That's just a fact. I mean, if you don't have a top 10 player in your team, you're probably not going to go anywhere. And I know people are going to bring up, the Pistons back in blah, blah, blah. Bro, that's one team in the past 30 years. Do the math. I'm not a math guy, but one team out of 30, that's not making much sense. So at the end of the day, whether we have Tibbs or not, doesn't really matter. I feel like we've reached the pinnacle with him. Like I said, I feel like we just need someone else to take us over the top. and I feel like we need to make another solid move because I feel like Brunson is making his way into the top 10, but I don't think he's there just yet.
Okay, and that's what you're talking about. So with the coach you're talking about, when we made that transition, it was building a foundation, building a system, so we can be, as Child Legacy said, that it was the laughing stock prior to that, which was true. We were in last place prior to Tibbs, that was true, and then he got us winning record and in the playoffs the very next year. So that's a jump. I think he's given us stability. Players like stability also, so they need someone that they can depend on. If you want to get a superstar has to see the system, the organization, and do they have stability? Is a coach a winning coach? Does he have a winning system? How are the players there? How do they treat the players? Which goes into how we treated Obi, even though we didn't want to move him for players.
We did that dirty.
We still did right by him as a player, whether they had to fight or not. We did right by the players so they can see the organization like, damn, even though they didn't fit, they had to fall out. They still did right by this player and got him to where he wanted to go and took the L and assets just to make that player happy. So a superstar is going to like to see that. They're going to see that, like to see that they stuck with Randall, even though Randall had the thumbs down year that by all means gave us all right with nobody would have judged the organization to trade and get rid of him. Even though the fan base was against him, the organization stuck with him. The organization sticks with the coach who's winning. And even though they're saying fire Tibbs, they stuck with their players. Same thing with RJ. People are saying trade RJ. They're sticking with RJ, even though they looked at all the other options. Just like what we're doing now with all our draft picks. We're sticking with our draft picks. We didn't just vote them for every superstar that they were asking for, the Ainge, all these other people that were trying to pick our players out there. They were always trying to get Grimes and IQ. Look what we would have given them. A possible 6th player of the year. A Grimes who's an elite defender who could have won at the All-Star game when he was playing at the Rising Stars. Someone who's going to turn out this year and be the Don Dada. So that shows that Leon Rose, the organization, knows what they were doing. They're holding their assets. They're making the right picks. They've done phenomenal with the money, which that's what we're talking about. That 50 we got at Bradley, that 50 mil a year is some of that money that we're going to give to IQ. When we get rid of Evan Fournier, that money's going to go to IQ. That 18 we're paying him, 20 to go to IQ. I think we offer him somewhere around 80-something million. If he doesn't like it, we go to make him an extension to make him a restricted free agent. I think we'll go 80 million, make him a restricted free agent. And if another team offers him the 120, I think at that point we're gonna match whatever they give him, and then we keep him. So either way, we're gonna keep IQ. I don't think he goes anywhere. I think we give him a respectable offer like we did everybody else. I think he may turn it down and see if we can get a better offer somewhere else. If they give him more money, we match it, we keep him. So he's huge.
Can we use the franchise tag on him?
I don't know if we can, but we're gonna give him bread. We're definitely gonna give him bread.
Let's give him the franchise tag real quick.
They could. I mean, they could give him a 5-year deal. You know, they could give him something like probably the biggest contract out of everybody. They can give him a 5-year deal, 100, 115, with incentives and stuff like that. Machete said it depends on how he does in the playoffs. He should take a leap this year, consistency in the playoffs. So him and Grimes, I think, are the big X factors this year of how we're gonna do. But the question of that was, are these the missing pieces to our championship team? With everybody,
hell yeah.
Okay, so we got 1-1. Yes, the whole question. Let me just hold it out there, then you guys can throw your comments out. These are the last two essentially pieces not under contract. Grimes technically got 2 more years, but can we go to the ECF and win it with what we have now?
Yes.
Where the team is now.
Yeah.
You said you say yes, tell me why.
Yeah, man. These guys are scared of the squad, man. The way it is right now, the way it's constructed, they're scared, man. We just added more firepower. We got rid of the cancer in the locker room who wasn't happy, which is too bad. You know, I would have loved for Obi to stay, but he was already, you know, part of it was that he wasn't gonna get any minutes behind Randall, you know. And from other people think that Randall didn't want him to get minutes because he was afraid that Obi might take those minutes away from Randall, you know. But either way, it caused a little bit of friction with the coach, Obi and the coach, and then there was friction with Obi and RJ. I don't know, man. It didn't seem like he was too happy because he wasn't getting any minutes. So okay, so we got rid of him. Okay, gone. So but now, does it make us less dangerous than it was last year? Because we had Obi, we were pretty dangerous. But because he was griping and wasn't happy, okay, that could be a negative factor in the locker room. But we got rid of that. So now we got guys who've played together before, who probably the chemistry will be a little bit better. We'll know. We don't know. We'll see how DiVincenzo gets along with IQ and the rest of the squad. I'm sure they'll welcome him, and he won't be as what's the word I want to say, as opposing as Obi. You know, who's looking for his minutes, and he's a little older, looking for his minutes. Whereas I think DiVincenzo is a little bit more proven, even though he really hasn't really done a whole lot, but he's been on good teams who've already won. He's got a championship. He's got a ring, and he also was part of the reason they won that ring. You know, and he's good. He's good. And then the guy was the shit in Villanova before Brunson got there. You know, he was from what I understand, that championship that they played, that he was the main reason they won Villanova with DiVincenzo. But we got good players. I think we've gotten smarter. We got IQ. We got Grimes. We got DiVincenzo. We got Josh Hart. I think we're a smarter group right now, and we're a hungrier group because of Grimes and because of Ice Cube, because he's gonna be looking to make his money. So
you say yes, we got a winning team here.
yeah, we got a good hungry squad of dogs out there right now, and I don't want to break up the squad. I want them hungry. I want Grimes wanting. I want IQ to want it. You know, I want him. I want them out there showing that they want it, that they're hungry, because they are.
Okay.
And we can't get rid of guys like that. We already got rid of Obi. We can't get rid of guys like IQ and Grimes. You know, we need these guys to, just because they're part of the team. They're the squad. We've had them for the last 3 years, and they're the reason. They are the reason we've been doing well. Why would you want to get rid of them or replace them to break up the chemistry we have? We're good. We're good.
We got one yes for sure. Sports fan Pronto, I saw you nodding your head. You were saying, nah, B. I think we need some super duper, super Saiyan, a Dragon Ball Z, some anime star player.
Yeah, but who, without us killing our squad, who's out there that we can get that's worth it?
No, pues déjame decirle la pregunta. Let me ask my guy the question para que he gives a little. I saw him loading a chamber there or something. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I see him loading the chamber already.
Tell me you, sir. Who do you think?
Blah, blah, blah,
What does that look like? What does a winning team look like to you if these players you feel are not the missing puzzle? Who is this piece that you think of, and you think you use these players to get that piece? Talk to me. Dale. Okay.
I think you hit the nail on the head on that one right there, buddy. First off, I just want to say you called Obi a cancer, and that shit hurt me in my soul. I thought that man was nothing but professional. He was always in the bench cheering the team. You never heard anything bad about him. So when you said that he was a cancer, that shit hurt me in my soul. But anyways,
got cut deep.
Yeah. It really cut deep right there, bro. But yeah. So back to the topic. So I feel like, again, my opinion. You don't have to kill me, but it's my opinion. If you look back on the stats, the winningest teams that win it all have top 10 talent. It's just that simple. Again, you can bring up the Pistons, which is one team in like the past 30 years, going back to Michael and Pippen, going to the Twin Towers and Robinson and I'm forgetting his name right now, but you know what I mean.
Duncan.
Robinson. Yes, thank you. Duncan, yes. Back to Olajuwon in the Rockets. You can go to Kobe and Shaq. You can go to even as recently as Steph Curry and the Warriors with KD and all them boys. Okay. You need top 10 talent. Again, there's always an outlier because nothing is absolute in this world. You're gonna say the Pistons. Cool. That's one team in 30 years. Okay. So again, will we have this same squad taking us to the promised land? I don't think so. I think either RJ or Grimes or DiVincenzo, Hart, some kind of combination of these guys is going to bring in the top 10 talent.
Who
that top 10 talent is, I cannot tell you right now because, as you know, every year there's a new disgruntled star and another star wants to leave his situation. Currently, if you ask me, the two that I'm looking at, which one we're not going to get, is Lillard. Obviously, we could get him out the way. He's probably going to go to the Heat. But the one that I'm keeping my eye on is Embiid. Now, hear me out. Hear me out. Harden is out the door already. He said he doesn't want to play for him. He called him a liar, this, that, and the third. Harden is as good as gone in my eyes from Philly. The next domino to fall is going to be Embiid. He might play this year there. He might, at the trade deadline, be traded. That's when we come in with a package of, here, take our 17 picks, take RJ, take Mitch Rob, or take whoever, find the combination that they want, ship them over there, bring Embiid, and then you got a three of Brunson, Randall, and Embiid. And then we could talk. But again, I don't, as of right now, don't quote me because again, I don't know if this league changes year after year and there's a new disgruntled star every year. So once again, as of right now, the one I'm keeping my eye on is Embiid. And I already told you how I feel about Donovan Mitchell. I think it's just a matter of time. That man has a Knicks jersey. It's set in stone for me at this point. Like, he's going to be a Knick. It's just a fact. So, but again, the top 10 talent that I'm keeping my eye on this year is Embiid. If he acts out, we might be shipping a couple of those names that you mentioned.
Yeah,
I don't know, in my opinion.
A couple of those names are not little either, because those you got to match salary first, so that's a bunch of players. That's 2 players that matches 50, and then you're talking about what Daryl Morey's going to want, which is another Ainge, basically getting 3 to 5 players, and picks is never going to be. Let's keep it real. Yeah. Picks are never going to be the scary topic. We can always address that and get it going. Hold on one second, guys. Give me 1 second. Keep going.
Right, that's my humble opinion.
I think as far as Embiid, it would be. I mean, like you said, Dwight. I mean, well, we would have to give up a lot to get Embiid. You know, to get Embiid, I think we would have to give up Mitch Rob. We have to give up Grimes. You know, picks. You know, that owner over there in Philly, he's tripping, man. He's bugging. He wants too much. He did the same thing with Ben Simmons, and it was almost impossible trying to get rid of Ben Simmons. I think that everybody's hyping up that whole Embiid to New York, but if Miami gets Dillard, I see Embiid going to Miami because that would be a powerhouse. Jimmy Butler, Dillard, and Embiid in Miami. I could see that.
They're not going to have enough to get both.
Maybe not this year, but I don't think that Embiid's going anywhere this year. I think that everything's going to happen next summer. I think everybody's just going to have to. Philly's just going to have to fucking eat it. They're just going to have to eat it this year. They're going to have a losing season, and then all the more reason at the end of this year when it's done, everybody will be happy to split because they're just going to have a terrible season if Harden doesn't play. I think then eventually the moves will happen next summer, not this summer. I don't think anything's going to happen this year. I think everything's already set in stone. We're too close to training camp for anything to happen. If it happens, that would be great. If it happens in January, that would be great. But we don't know what moves. I think the next shoe to drop is going to be Dillard because I think that he's ahead of Embiid. I think they're trying to solve that puzzle before the Embiid puzzle. And I don't think that Philly's going to go anywhere. They're just going to have to sit there and eat it with Harden. And Harden and fucking Embiid are just going to have to be unhappy in Philadelphia for this year. But if anything were to happen, it's going to happen next summer. So then if Miami does go after Dillard, because now they're telling Dillard, you know, to shut it down. You're stuck with you're staying where you're at. You're gonna tell Embiid the same thing because they're already telling Harden the same thing. Shut the fuck up. You're gonna play the rest of the year. You can't just back out of your contract and switch and go where you want. So I don't see either of those guys going anywhere till next summer. But if it does happen, and if Miami picks up Dillard, Embiid goes to Miami, I see that. I think that whole shit about Embiid to New York is a whole same bullshit they gave us when they were talking about KD and Kyrie coming to New York, and it never happens. It's just Knicks for clicks. That's all that is. But I think if not, because if you're also talking about Embiid coming and then you're talking about Mitch Rob coming, we're gonna have to give up a lot to get the both of those guys next summer because it ain't happening this summer. It'll probably happen next summer. And I think that if we do go after Donovan Mitchell, we might send away IQ over there, because they both play the two, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so then you would have to switch one for the other, and then maybe send them some picks so that we can get, however we can get Donovan, because Donovan's a more dynamic player than IQ. So then I would switch the IQ for Donovan. I would send IQ over there.
The only pushback I'm gonna give you is Donovan is a free agent, or he has a player option after this
next
year.
Summer. Yeah, next summer. Everything's gonna happen. Everything's gonna happen next summer, not this summer.
No. So in my opinion, I think Harden is gonna get out. They're gonna ship him somewhere. I don't know. Maybe the Lakers, maybe. Yeah. I mean, maybe not at the beginning of the season, but by the trade deadline, he's gone. He's gonna go to either like the Lakers or the Clippers.
They did that to Ben Simmons in January last year. He got traded in January.
He's gonna go somewhere. I know he's gonna go somewhere, and somebody's gonna pick him up. Somebody that's trying to contend. So after he's gone, then Embiid is gonna ask out, and then that's when we're gonna come in with the Godfather offer of picks and whatever you want on top of whatever to make the salaries match. So we get Embiid, and then it's gonna be Randall, Embiid, Brunson, whoever else is left to fill out the roster for this year or to finish this year, and then after this year, Donovan is gonna opt out. And then he's going to come here as a free agent. That's going to be the squad. I mean, if everything pans out the way I see it, because again, you never really know. And your boy Rose, el duro. So he doesn't like to give the money. So we'll see what happens. But I'm hoping that's how it plays out.
Well, saying what you're talking about, the pieces, it's true that the past years has been top elite talent, and we were talking about the Twin Towers, you're talking about Shaq and Kobe, you're talking about all these players. Now, if you also look at that, each one of those players were top picks, which we have not had in a long time. They were number ones. They were top 10 picks, for sure number one. David Robinson was a number one pick. Tim Duncan was a number one pick. Shaq was a number one pick. Olajuwon was a number one pick. Kobe was, I think he was, I'm pretty sure he was up there.
Like 6 or 8 or something.
First round, but 5 or 6.
Something like that. Yeah.
Steph Curry, 8th, 7th pick. He went 7th or 6th pick. So these are players that we were not anywhere near. Our picks didn't convey to nothing like that. So we have to build organically. Anyway, we have to build like a Detroit team because we have to right now until we get that disgruntled player that you're talking about. But even then, at the cost of what these disgruntled players you're talking about is an insane amount. And the ones that are even close to even being had, first of all, are either super old. It's only Giannis. Yeah.
Embiid is what, 30?
That's what I'm saying. I was going to say Embiid. So it's Giannis and Embiid. But even though they're 30, and once you get a 30, Father Time typically visits NBA players, and he gives them that at about 32 to 33 years at the age. At 30
that's
to 33,
the window.
you're like, yo, what's up? Where you been?
That's the window.
So you're talking about 2 years. And
that's the window.
So their contract is, Embiid is maybe in 2 years, he's going to be at that 32-year-old age.
That's the window.
He's right in the middle of his prime right now. So do we grab him up now or as soon as we can before he's over that hump?
Absolutely.
So
you got to make a move.
So if we are going to make a move for a guy like that, who's a spectacular player, he's a spectacular big man. I mean, he's
box
other than
office.
Joker, there ain't nobody better.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody better than a big man who can shoot, who's big and can shoot the three. This guy is good. I mean, Embiid is good. I think he's a little bit of a crybaby. I'm with New Knicks. I wouldn't really want to go out of my way and dump everybody to go get him. He just doesn't seem to, like, every time in the playoffs there's something.
But that's what it's gonna
He's
take.
either injured or crying about something, and that's what I don't like about Embiid, man. You know, that's to me what makes him soft. But I mean, the guy can fucking score. The guy is a big body that can score. Everything we want Mitch Rob to be, but without the softness, because Mitch Rob is tough. You don't ever see him whining and crying like that. You know what I'm saying? But I would love to see him shoot like Embiid. But I wish Embiid had Mitch Rob's attitude. Yeah, but I mean, so are we trying to get him before the end of his, before the start of his decline in a year or two, maybe 3 years? Who knows? I mean, he's a tough guy, but
listen, the Donovan Mitchell would probably be the closest option that I can say that we can go after. And not even then, you're gonna wait till he's at the end of his deal. Look at the history. You have to look.
He'll still only be 27, 28. He'd still be under 30.
He's going into his prime. He's going into his prime.
He's going into his prime. If he's starting it right, he's what, 25, 26 right now?
Yeah.
All right, so he's probably got another year or two with Cleveland. We're talking about maybe next summer, he'll be 27, pushing 28. He'll still be under his prime. Hopefully, he'll still be very healthy. No injuries to anybody. You know what I mean?
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
We go after. Would you rather go after Embiid or Spider?
To be honest,
that's what I'm saying. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think we have to go after Spider because I think Spider's ours. I think he's coming here regardless.
Yeah, but that's basically in a year. That's basically in a year for him. Maybe a year. And salute, New Knicks is popping in up on here.
Oh, snap.
He is.
Yeah. So we'll get you in on there right quick, Nick. So to do that, I don't think we go in for Embiid because
hold up.
Hold on. So
hold up.
Embiid is gonna cost us.
Get your shit together, Phil.
Yo, what's popping? Everybody was popping. Salute.
What it do?
Yo, so
I'm over here in Tallahassee. Just got I don't know what the number 11. Yeah, I'm over here in Tallahassee. My bad. Had a little delivery. What's good, y'all?
That was good. So right now we're chopping up the topic that we're talking about. Is Grimes and IQ the pieces that we need to complete our puzzle as a championship run? Do you think with IQ and Grimes we can compete for a championship and Eastern Conference Finals, or what Sports Fan Pronto was saying that in some kind of combination to go after an Embiid or Donovan, or that we need another superstar rather than the players that we got right now?
Yeah, I mean, I was watching. I think Mike is right. Losing the players, for these players that you guys were talking about, like Donovan Mitchell, Embiid, it's at the end of the day, it's not worth it because they're going to be here regardless. I agree with Alex, thinking that Embiid is the next player to come to the Knicks, but yeah, Leon Rose is not making any drastic moves to lose players.
All right, I like that. So, so you're thinking no drastic moves. Machete says stand packed. Sports Pronto said fire sale on the rookies, get them while it's hot.
No. Slow down. I didn't say fire sale. I said we're going to have to give up a lot. I said we're going to have to give up a lot, but come on now.
I mean, that's a fire sale, my guy. You go for Embiid, that's 6 or 7 players, 6 or 7 picks. And then you got
no. I mean, we could do something like a little less than the Rudy Gobert situation, because Rudy Gobert got 1,000 gajillion things. You know what I mean? I don't know. In my opinion, look. In my opinion, I think, and I'm just spitballing here because I don't know Embiid's numbers. I'm gonna think of him in the 30 to 40 range. So I'm going to say a combination of either RJ with 20 and I'm going to say Grimes and IQ. That should make it close enough along with picks so that we can get Embiid. That's off the top of my head. Now, I'm probably not doing it right, but you might have to throw in like a Mitchell Rob, or maybe even like a RJ and Mitch Rob with 1,000 picks will make it work. Like, I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I'm just spitballing. Don't get me.
And the thing, hold on.
Lo mataste los Knicks, lo mataste los Knicks.
No, because then you still have Brunson, you have your Randall, you're gonna have Embiid, then you'll have Hart or DiVincenzo.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then you fill out the roster with minimum contracts. Davis Bertans is still a free agent, I think. Get him as the
What about all that? What about all the work? What about all the work those guys put in together to get the camaraderie going?
Bro, I mean, again, I love my squad. I really do. But if history tells us anything, you gotta have a top 10 talent, bro. You just have to. I mean, again, you want to point out the one lone team that did it in the past 30 years? That's what you're trying to emulate? You get what I'm trying to say?
All right, Alex, if we're
Why
talking
you're on mute?
about
No, that was me. That was my bad. I was saying, yo.
can you hear? Hey, if we're talking about history revision, right? The New York Knicks are not going to repeat stupid mistakes that we've made in the past. So that's why it doesn't make sense on the fact to repeat history if you're trying to look for different results. You don't repeat the same mistakes.
But we're not. That's my point.
Yeah, if you're trying to trade, I just heard you mention trading Mitch, or like we're not trading Mitch. Mitchell will be backing up for Embiid, but he's not being traded.
I never said trade all of them, though. I said a combination of. You get me?
Yo, that combination was like a platter.
It's a combination. No, check it out. It's a combination of two young players, and 1,000 picks.
And 1,000 picks. First of all, it's 50 million. You got to match 50 mil. That's what he's getting. So
okay. So RJ and Mitch is 20 and 20, right? That's 40.
Mitch is getting like 18, 16, something like that.
That's close enough, bro. You got to get to like within 10%, right? So like
that's 30 40 million. RJ, let's say I'll give you that. Let's say RJ Mitch, that's 35 mil.
Okay, so throw in Grimes. What's he making? 5?
Yeah, he's making nothing. You're giving one of our best players.
Okay, so throw in IQ. You're gonna have to give up to get something, bro. Throw DiVincenzo, throw iHeart. Somebody that you can trade.
But is he worth the whole team? Or because didn't we beat Philly last year before we even had DiVincenzo? Before we even had we bodied these people with Harden, with this dude. They had their whole squad, and we was bullying them last year. And you want to give up the people that we bullied them with to get the player that they lost with? I don't see the addition on that.
Yeah, that's the same thing that I said in the last pod. I mean, bro, we gave a lot of the top team the business last year, and we're in the motion of improving and leveling up. Why would you go ass backwards? I mean, I don't know, bro. I've seen us give too many teams with those top tier talents that you're talking about. I've seen us put a spanking on some of them, bro. So we won one good player away. Yeah, I mean, and the player would have to force his way into New York in order for us not to lose big. You know what I
So
mean?
what you gonna do then? So how you gonna improve the roster?
Well, I
Bro,
think
we all know Mitch is coming. That's a guarantee, and that's gonna be something that Cleveland can't bargain because Donovan is gonna be forcing his way out. So they don't got that. They don't got leverage. You
Okay,
understand
so
what I'm saying?
Yo, Joel,
is
And
Joel
Donovan the
Embiid,
missing
Embiid
piece
Embiid,
contract.
then?
huh?
Check this out.
Is
Embiid,
Donovan the missing piece?
No, I say Embiid. I see what's going on in Philly. You know what I mean? So Philly's like right on teetering on the edge of explosion. You feel what I'm saying?
yo,
So
listen.
I do see
Listen to this
Embiid trying
contract.
to come to the New York market, but we're not
Yo,
gonna
but
lose a
Phil,
lot for them. So
Phil,
if Embiid is forcing his way out, that means Philly has no leverage. Cleveland has no leverage. Those are the two pieces that is a big realm of possibilities. I don't agree with Mike that the media is putting out that Embiid wants to go there. We all saw him talk to Jalen secretly in the ear, and it wasn't about heading to the strip club.
let me
whatever,
share.
man.
Whoa,
Yo,
when was this?
Hold
When
on.
was this?
Let me
What?
share you this contract. Let me share
The last game that they played with Philly, I'm sorry, the
Yeah.
last game they played with Philly, Embiid wasn't looking too happy, and him and Brunson was having a little 30-second conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
they
But
were,
a
but
lot
Phil,
could be said within those 30 seconds.
Unix. But
Hold
let me
on.
say,
Yeah.
yo, but you're okay. They were whispering. That don't mean shit. His contract this year was for 47,600,000.
Who's
Next
that?
year is
Who are we talking about?
we're talking about Embiid. Joel Embiid's contract this year was for 47 and
Yeah.
a half million.
This is his first year.
Next year for the 24-25 is gonna be for 51.5 million. For the 25-26 is gonna be for 55 million plus. For 26-27 is gonna be 59 million. So we're going, it just goes up 47 and a half, 51 and a half mil, 20, and then 55, and then 59 mil for this guy. And
Okay,
then
can
giving
I
up
ask you?
the rest of our squad.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Who's the highest paid player right now?
It looks like he's the highest paid motherfucker right now.
No. The kid from Boston, Jalen Brunson. How much is he getting?
Jalen
Or
Brown is
Brown. My
the
bad. Yeah.
highest paid. But we ain't talking about Jalen Brown. We're talking about Joel Embiid.
Exactly. And Jalen Brown is getting way more than Embiid.
Okay, but you still go. The point of that is that you're going over the luxury tax, and you still got to fill out with buster players. Where
Yeah,
you
we got all our guys.
Yeah, but you forget that we can go over the luxury tax with the players that we already have. With that rule. What's that rule called? When you got
CBA
the
rules.
bird rights or something like that.
rights
Yeah. So you go over the tax to get that player,
on a
and
player
then you can continue going over to re-sign your own players.
on your player that you draft, you can go.
Exactly.
You're gonna draft Embiid.
No, that's not what I'm saying, bro. I'm saying you get him and he puts you over the tax, right? And then you have the bird rights to your own players so you can re-sign them and still keep going over the tax.
What player are these? You gave away 3/4 of our team. You gave away Mitch. You gave away RJ. You gave away IQ, and that's the majority of our players. That's just to match that.
What's going to be the starting five then? You got Jalen Brunson. You got Jalen Brunson,
Grimes,
player
RJ,
X, whoever.
RJ, Randall, and Mitch. The same starting five. So you got the chemistry there. The same starting five. RJ is going to take the leap. That's what we're accounting for. That's what we're looking at for RJ to take that next leap. That's the starting five. Then you got IQ, who you resign, whether it's 80 million, 100 million, whatever it is. You're going to need a top level player who already knows the system, who knows the players, who fits in like a glove, which IQ does. When Jalen Brunson went down, who scored 20 points a game when he did start, who's already a plug and play that the team doesn't skip a beat by having this player. You give him that bread. Then you got number 2 is Dante DiVincenzo. Then you got Jay Hart. Then you got I Hart. And then you got Sims as a backup. And then you got Deuce as the last role player. That right there is Eastern Conference are for sure second-round team player. With the chemistry or plug and play, this is our team for 2 years, my opinion. I think this is our team for the next 2 years to see how far we go. If it doesn't work, then we do in 2 years. If Donovan's not going to sign with whoever he's available, if it doesn't work, then we see what we do in 2 years to flip that out, or 2 years left with Embiid to see how he does. Embiid can try to force his way out, but if they get rid of Harden, your best talent is their MVP. Why would you get rid of your MVP and start all the way over? Or do you just try to get picks for whoever you have?
That's what smart organizations do. It's called a full rebuild.
But you have
not a retool.
No team. You can't name me one team that did a full rebuild while having an MVP the year before. Never been done, ever. I've never seen it.
Okay.
If anybody in the chat, anybody watching, if you've ever seen any team gut out the team and do a full rebuild while having the MVP player the year prior, I'd love to see it. I can't recall it in the history of NBA. I just don't see why they would do it, especially when he just got on his contract. He just got the contract. So he just got his paper, all that 50 million plus, he just got that money. So he can't do anything. Okay. Brooklyn was stupid by letting go of Durant. They didn't have to. They should have said, yo, you're going to ball whether you like it or not. So both your Achilles blow out. You play here in Brooklyn. They could have done the same thing. I'm just saying. So for them to get rid of Embiid, as much as it looks good and it's hype, and yes, he's a CAA client. Yes, he was whispering sweet nothings in the ear of Jalen Brunson. There was like, what he was saying is like, yo, do they got steak at that restaurant? Because I really like the steak the last time. That's all they were talking about. But could they get him? Possibly. But to spend 60 mil a year is crazy. That bread just on him would pay IQ is 100 mil, will pay Grimes. Everybody's paid. Everybody's happy. And we got this team who's the best Knicks team, by the way, in almost 30 to 40 years. If this is what the fans ain't grasping. This is the
Mike, take that face off, because I listen. I said that this is the best structured team in the past 20 years, bro, and that's something that you can't deny.
Yo, name a Knicks team that's better than this team in 30 years. Machete.
Bro, hold on. You telling me? You telling me?
The 1999 team, the 1998-1999 team, from 94 to 99, you can't top them squads, dog.
Wait, hold on. Look, I'm with you. I was there. What they did, what they accomplished was not only great, it was a miracle. They went from the 8th seed to beat the number one team.
In the last 30 years.
It had it. Okay, I'm just saying what they did, what they accomplished was a miraculous one. They were the 8th seed, though. They weren't a number one team. They weren't in the second round. They weren't a number 4 team. They did the impossible, which is why they were the first team to ever go from 8th seed to beat a number 1 team and make it that far. That itself wasn't a huge accomplishment, but they were an 8th seed team throughout the year. Our team have been 4th seed, 5th seed for in the 2 playoff years that we did.
Okay.
But when did we fizzle out?
How many times has this squad? Okay, how many times has this squad been to the Eastern Conference playoffs?
Thank you.
None yet.
Thank you.
None yet.
Thank you.
None yet.
Thank you. Say it again.
Even with this coach,
we were 1
or 2 games away, my guys. Let's bring that back to a fact. We were 1 or 2 games away. Yes or no? Okay, so stop. Come on, bro.
We don't know that. We don't know that. We don't know that. You don't know if we were 1 or 2 games away because we didn't make it that far. We don't know that. We could have played 1 more game and gotten knocked off the next game. We don't know that. We don't know that. Those games, those teams 30 years ago. Come on, bro. Come on, man. We were constantly in the playoffs. Whether it doesn't matter if we were in the 8th seed or not, we were constantly. We not only went through the first round, the second round. How many times didn't we go to the EFC? Come on, man.
Mike, let me remind you guys that this is a team that went into buildings where we haven't won since 2015, almost 20 plus years when we played. I think it was Denver.
As we should have, because we finally had a stable coach who came in with a plan and stability, and we followed through. We listened to him because he's going to be there for the first year. They already signed him off for the first 5-year contract. So we knew we were going into a stable, a guy with a plan, coaches, and a plan that got us to the playoffs the first year he was there, and the third year he was there. So he has a plan. So this is good. This is what we should have been doing since 2000.
Okay,
Have
so
a stability.
Yeah,
Have a
Yo, I just
coach.
want to say
Yeah,
real
Get
quick. I just want
players.
to say real
We're
quick.
doing shit.
What?
We're doing
Gonna
shit
be?
now that we should
Yeah,
have been
yeah, yeah.
doing in 2000.
I
So
got
then
it.
we
I got
wouldn't.
it. Thank you.
But since we didn't, since we've had like 15 coaches since 2000, we've had 15 fucking coaches. So no, this is not a. But this is we're a team now that it
Mike,
should have been
Mike,
20 years ago,
but
25
All
years
right,
ago.
let me say it like this. This is the
Can I
best
just?
year
a
in 23 years.
structure starts from the top.
This is,
A s-
this is the best year in 23 years. The best team in 23 years. Close to.
Can I say something?
Bad for sports fan.
That's better.
I just
That's better.
want to
Now I
give
can
a.
agree with you.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Shaw Legacy. I think he had a great point. He
Yeah.
said, y'all got to keep in mind that our timeline is not the young guys. It's Brunson, who turns 27 in a month. Randall, 28. Hart, 28. DiVincenzo, 26. They're not
Yeah.
wasting those guys' timeline.
Oh, okay,
Which is
but
beautiful, which is beautiful. I love that he pointed that out because
Okay.
that goes right in line with what I said in trying to get Embiid, who's 30. Thank you.
Yeah.
Continue.
Bro.
But the only difference,
Bro.
the only sports fan proto is that the difference is that all those guys you mentioned before Embiid are all under 30. Embiid is over 30. That's the difference. We're all these are guys. The oldest guy on our squad is Randall, who's 28.
Bro, he was just the MVP. Just
Randall is
the
28. He's still
MVP.
2 years younger than the one who's out of our timeline is Embiid. He's out of our timeline, and he's injury prone,
If you can keep
and he's a crybaby.
if you can keep all of those players that you and Shy Legacy just named, if you can keep all of them and add Embiid, now we're talking. But you're talking.
Bro, I did. I gave you the blueprint. I said trade RJ, trade Grimes, IQ, Mitchell Robinson. I told you that. And you keep it JV.
It's what their president is going to want. He's not going to want your leftovers.
But
He's going to want
that's the
Brunson.
point.
He's going to
Yo,
want.
that guy from Philly's gonna want to clean us out, man. He's gonna want to. He's want to get his money.
Embiid fits our timeline better. And homie just said he's 29. He's not 30. Like, come on, man. Get with the program. Everything shifted once we got Brunson.
Yes, but that's assuming that their president is going to want our.
Is that time we get into that 2 hour? So we get a little feisty.
And Nana, you're telling me that if you don't give him a young core with 1,000 picks, he's not gonna take that?
Did the Ainge do it? We were giving him RJ, we were giving him IQ, and we're giving him a bunch of. Did he take that move? Did he take it?
Yeah.
No.
He wanted one more though. He wanted one more.
He wanted the other elite player that we have right now, who's our starting.
Perfect. What did I say? Why wouldn't it work? Because Rose duro, él es duro. That's his problem.
And guess what? It's winning. He's made the right choice. Everything that he did is working. It's working.
All right, bro. All right.
It's working. I'm not. Look, that's your opinion. That's my opinion. I'm not doubting it. Could we get him beat? If he says, "Yo, all I want is Grimes, IQ, and RJ and 7 picks," which in the world of basketball would never happen. If he says that, great. We're winning. You make that move. But more than likely, and every time, especially have an MVP player, you're not going to want I'm going to want Jalen Brunson, or the deal doesn't exist. It's impossible for you to think that he's not going to want Brunson or Randall in that trade. Brunson is our best player. Why would he give his best player for our leftovers that we had from 2 Thanksgivings ago? He's not going to want
Can
that.
I ask you a question?
Go for it.
Are they gonna be competing next year and the year after?
Us or
Or
them?
are they gonna be retooling or rebuilding?
Us or them?
Them.
Really? They're probably going to retool. They're more than
They're
likely
gonna retool? Who do they have with Tobias Harris?
They get next year. Tobias Harris comes off the books. That's free 30, 40 million. You got this guy who's getting off the books, Harden also. That's another 30. That's 60 million that's going to come off their books. They can get rid of everybody else and retool around your MVP player. That's the only logical sense that happens. That's 60 mil that frees up, and they retool to whatever to go around your MVP player who just signed his contract, who just completed his first year, who just had MVP. So you build around your MVP rather than giving your MVP and starting over, because you're not going to get another #1 draft pick, because that was a #1 draft pick. So was Markelle Fultz, who you gave away. You don't have any other picks because you gave it away in the Harden deal. You have no other assets to come back unless you get rid of your MVP for more assets. It doesn't
That's
make
not true. They still have Maxey.
I said pick. Well, that's right. They got Maxey, but who else after that? Nothing.
Well, that's who you rebuild around, because he's like 20.
Maxey? You rebuild. Maxey is the same as IQ. Are you going to rebuild around IQ?
We're not rebuilding.
You asked if they're going to retool or rebuild. I said they're going to retool. You're saying to rebuild around Maxey and get rid of Embiid? You're saying that Maxey
Yes, because Embiid is the best thing you have that you can get the most from. Does that not make sense? Like, if I have gold in my hand and you want the gold, that's my trade piece. That's my ticket. That's my meal ticket for years to come. You're gonna have to give me what I want.
If you get rid of Maxey, who's gonna be Embiid's point guard? You know what I'm saying? I think
that's the point. No,
needs
but they're not getting rid of Maxey. They're getting rid of Embiid, and they're gonna retool or rebuild around Maxey because he's the young one. He's 20.
Yeah.
In all scenarios, including the New York Knicks, that every team has included, with all these elite players for us to go for, Giannis, Embiid, Zach LaVine, Donovan Mitchell.
All of them past their prime.
How many times has Leon jumped to empty out the farm? He's never done it. He's never done it. He won't do it. He never will, especially for someone with all that contract, all that money. If he comes available, and he is a CAA client. If anybody, he's definitely on the radar. He knows how much he's going to be worth, and he knows what he can do. But if you're going to give up these people, Daryl Morey, Danny Ainge, the dude from Toronto, these dudes are the last sharks that are in the pool, bro. They're going to try to get everything, and they're not going to want to get rid of the MVP player to get your chicken McNuggets. They want the McRib, my guy. They want
not McNuggets, bro. Oh my God.
I'm saying the players you're naming. You look, as much as we love our players, Mitch is the bomb, the Don Dada. We gave him 60 mil. You're getting a player who's going to make 60 million in 1 year. You're saying you want to give him this one player a 1 year contract for his.
I didn't say. I gave you the. How many times I'm going to tell you, Brian? I gave you the formula.
But it's not what
to you.
It's not what
RJ, Quick, Grimes, Mitch, picks. Swap them out however you want. If you want to take Fournier, you want to take Hart, you want to take. Make it work. It doesn't matter. As long as you're keeping Jalen Brunson, Randall, and you're getting Embiid, I don't care who you give up. Give up the farm. Because at this point, we're not thinking about 5-10 years from now. At this point, we're thinking about the window to win it all.
But if you're giving away the farm, that window, you just shut it on the fingers of.
How are you comparing an MVP that's 29 years old to role players?
Well, I'll answer that for you. You know how? Because Embiid he's had elite talent around him. So has Harden. And where have they taken you in any playoffs? Nowhere. They haven't gone anywhere. They're not.
Has Embiid ever had a Jalen Brunson?
He's had enough players. He's had Maxey. He's had James Harden.
He had James Harden.
That's young. The Maxey that's young.
He's not a winner. James Harden is not a winner.
You mean
he had James Harden and he had Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons that flamed out and got injured.
But when he was
all of a sudden forgot how to play.
Defensive player of the year, All-Star. Ben Simmons
prime, and he was the defensive player of the year. He had him in his prime. So he's had great talent around him that has not done anything. He has not proven to win. That's the difference.
Not only that, decent coaches too. They had Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers got a championship and
Doc Rivers, the coach that's been coaching for like 70 years and got one chip, and has had elite talent throughout his entire NBA career with one chip. That Doc Rivers that flames out every time in the playoffs.
That's one more chip.
He just won a chip in 2010.
The one chip.
How many times has hasn't he been
Oh, wait,
to the playoffs?
Hold on. That one chip, who did he have? He had the greatest shooter to ever play the game in Ray Allen. He had the all-star in Paul Pierce, the answer, the truth, whatever you want to call him. And then he had the best center or one of the best centers in Garnett.
And you know who else he had? He had a defensive coach, Tom Thibodeau.
Okay, and
that's when he won.
And
that's when he won.
Chip.
You're right. All
right, go send Tibbs to Philly then. Oh no, my bad. Doc Rivers got fired. We'll see where he resurfaces. Then
actually, he got rehired. I think he might be an analyst for ESPN. That's why they got rid of the other guys.
Coaching. Listen.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Send Tibbs packing with him so he can be a better analyst.
The way you judge coaches is the way I judge players. If you ain't win nothing, you ain't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They got beat out by the Leprechaun. All right, they got beat out by the Leprechaun in Atlanta.
And we got beat up by the Leprechaun too. Who cares?
But that we had nobody. They had a whole squad. That's the point. He's had talent around him, and they haven't gone anywhere.
Right. Ben Simmons Ben Simmons
winner.
The Ben Simmons that can't shoot, the Ben Simmons that got back problems, the Ben Simmons that forgot how to play.
That's not who they had.
He had Markelle Fultz, who also forgot how to shoot.
That's not who they had.
Weird, whatever shoulder problem he had. Who was it? That Harden? The Harden that flames out in the playoffs, that he'll give you 70 in the regular season, but then he'll give you 2 and 13 in the playoffs.
You make it sound like Embiid is bad luck.
Yeah, wasn't Harden giving him double doubles? He was averaging almost 15 assists in the playoffs. That's pretty darn good.
He needed him to score, and he wasn't scoring.
No matter what you say, you're gonna pick him. And when he had Ben Simmons was the defensive player of the year 2 years in a row.
Again, the Ben Simmons that cannot shoot, that you pack the paint, and what's he gonna do?
They work together. Shoot. When they played together, they worked together. He drove and Embiid shot from the outside. They weren't stopping. Is that a factor? No, because they were winning. He was the defensive player of the year at that time.
It sounds to me like guys don't want to play with Embiid, man.
All right.
Listen, I don't know. Look,
I'll take him. I'll take him over anybody that is the next disgruntled star. Insert name from now to like 5 years from now, bro.
Hey, Sports Fan Pro. I agree with you, but I'm not giving up that squad.
Let me just say this. I dream of a day where Jalen Brunson can have a pick and roll partner like Embiid. I dream of the day where RJ can have a pick and roll partner like Embiid. I dream of the day you're really gonna compare. Oh my God! You are really gonna compare Mitchell Robinson to Joel Embiid.
As a rim runner, yes. As a rim runner, absolutely.
As a rim runner.
That's what you're talking about. That's what you're talking about. You're saying
because that's all you can do in a pick and roll, right? You can't pick and pop. You can't shoot the three. You can't do none of that, right?
So you can't do a pick and roll with Randall and RJ to do the pick and pop? Or Hartenstein?
Why? When you have Embiid. Why would you do that when you have Embiid?
Because you need someone to get a rebound and block. That's what you have a center for. That's why he has.
That's what Randall's for.
Randall's not a blocker. He's a rebounder, and he does get the rebounds.
You're making my point.
Yo, Embiid is not the answer, my guy. Embiid is not the answer. I'm sorry. Okay. Look, you guys hear, he's not the answer. He's good. He's not great. That's just he's good. He's not.
He's just good enough to win MVP. I got you.
I mean, he's good. He's good at what he does. He's good.
But he's not great. He's not great.
Okay, I'll give you this. He's great, but he's not a winner.
Okay, cool.
All right. So again, I judge players like how you judge a coach. Did he win? Does he got a ring? Did he win a chip? Did Embiid win a chip? No, he didn't. So he's okay. He's okay. He's not worth me giving up the rest of my players. I think the players we got now will go way farther. Matter of fact, I'm almost willing to wager, but I'm not going to wager. But we're going to go farther than Philly, even with Embiid right now. The way we have now, with Grimes, with IQ, with RJ, and with Brunson. And we're going to beat Miami. And I'm putting it on record. I know this. August 19th, we're going to beat Miami too. With or without Dame on the record. And I know you there, Harris. We ain't firing Tibbs either. I think we got a better team now. I think the time frame that you're talking about, shot legacy, You are correct. That's why we got these players now. That's why we got the chemistry of the best players with Jalen Brunson. That's why we got his buddy, Josh Hart, who automatically got us to that next level. That's why we got Dante DiVincenzo, his best friend, that the chemistry of them who are winners together. They won together. They know how to win. They know how to bring the best out of each other. That's why we got him for his timeline. That's why we got these players that can give you now with a better value than what Donovan Mitchell can give you right now, better than what Embiid can give you right now, because the number one rebounder out of all that over Embiid was Mitchell. The better defender was Mitchell. He's not going to give you offensive. That's why you put the other offensive players. That's why you give Brunson the touch. Nobody in Philly touches the ball other than Embiid. That's why he's giving you 50 points a game. There's no other scorers. There's leftover players. Maxey didn't even get a lot of burn last year. He's their only source of offense on there. He's really dope, but he's not going to fit with the chemistry or what we're building. That's just my opinion. I don't say it's gold. I do believe a lot of people believe what you're saying. Sports fan pronto. I'm not trying to change your opinion. I respect it. That's why I'm asking for it. I believe a lot of fans do that. Machete says the same thing as far as some of the picks out there, but I think what we have now for the next 2 years is what we're going to deal with. I don't think it's going to be, and I don't think we're going to make a major move. You know why? Because it's proven from what Leon has done in the last 3 seasons, he's never made an extreme move. He's never hit the home run. Now, did he pick up the phone and try to make those trades? Yeah, he tried to make the calls and make a fair trade. He's making fair deals out there. These dudes is picking your pockets. They want you to take out the Air Force Ones. They want you walking home naked. They ain't just happy with the jewelry and the money they took from you. They want to strip you down to your bears and walk home that way. And it don't work that way. I just don't.
Listen, I agree with Dwight. I just don't. Not only that, because I just don't see any moves to make out there right now without he's not going to gut the team, man. He's not going to gut any of these guys. He's not going to cut them. I think that he has plans already for IQ and Grimes, what they're going to pay them, depending how they play this year. I don't think that we're trying to cut anybody. I don't think we're trying to make any drastic moves. I think we got till next summer when all the really major agents are going to be available. You got Giannis, you got Spider, you got Embiid. You know, their contracts are going to be up for the incoming summer, not this one, but the next one. I think that everybody, not just us, are holding off for that. I think these guys are playing their cards close to their chest. They're being patient and waiting for next summer. We got our crew this year. I don't think there's really any moves to make now other than try to get rid of Fournier and get rid of that money. Or we're going to play him, or we're going to keep him as a backup. I don't see them making any major moves without they're not going to gut our team. It's just there aren't any moves out there right now. We'll wait for the next year. Right now we just hold tight, have JB and iHeart and our guys come back from FIBA, see what happens, see how that interprets now with it, and what they bring from the FIBA game, how they can translate it to our regular season games, hopefully playoff games. We sit and wait and bide our time patiently. We don't got to rush into anything. We got our guys. They're playing good for us. We have our coach. They're playing for the coach. We got our coaching staff. We have a good coaching staff for the last 3 years. They all know how to gel and make the guys play. And I think we just bide our time. Like Dwight says, there's no reason for us to make any drastic moves. We wait for Donovan. We wait for Embiid or whoever it is without having to gut our teams or get rid of any of our first round or second round picks. Stand fast.
Let me read some of the chat. So Shot Legacy is RJ is a 3rd pick and he's an underachiever. Embiid is a 3rd pick and he's an MVP. To address that, Embiid was injured. He was technically a number 1 pick. And that draft was deep. So that's the options and selection we had after RJ's, that draft with Zion. After RJ, the rest of them players fell off a cliff. You can't name a third of those players that were in from 4 to 20. You can't name any one of them right now that is an elite player. So the pickings from that draft was very slim. It was only the top 3 for the most part. I think Shea may have been in there. Shea Gilgeous may have been in there possibly. But other than them 3, there was really no option to go after that. You have to go with the best available player, which is what the Knicks did with Obi. And you're talking about Embiid, who was obviously a freak of nature. Just like Shaq for you to pass on anybody. And even with that, when they picked Embiid, they had to wait 3 years, which that's where the term came, trust the process. They sat and never played this guy for 3 years of his first 3 years of a career. Most teams, 99% of teams would never do that, unless it's a freak of nature, which that's what he is, that they picked him and they were already in the dumps. And they were just, and at that time, you can dump your team to get the number 1 pick the next year. That's how they got Markelle Fultz. That's how they got the other picks. So at that time, you could tank and it'll be a winning process for you. So they were literally tanking on purpose to get picks. The number 1.
This is true. You can't do that anymore.
They did that with Embiid, knowing that they're going to wait on him. That he's probably the highest ceiling talent, which they did, and sat on him for 3 years. So they lost for 3 straight years and got number 1 picks after that. So that's a whole different thing than what we have. We haven't had a number 1 pick. Never. We've never had a number 1 pick. Never. When teams have had multiple in years. Philly has had multiple first-round picks. Orlando has had multiple first-round picks.
That's a
good point. That's a good point.
LA
We've
Lakers, a
never
lot of
had.
people have multiple first-round in their entire. We have never, NEVER, had a first-round pick. I mean, a number 1 pick, not a first round.
A number 1 pick.
One.
Yeah.
Let me clarify that.
Because RJ was a first round pick, so was Obi.
RJ and Ewing were the first high pick players that we've had. Then number 3 was the highest players that we've ever selected. Ewing at 3,
Yeah.
and then
RJ at number 3, Obi at number 8.
Are we forgetting about Porzingis?
What pick was Porzingis?
I think he was the 4th.
Is 4 higher than 3?
No, but he's.
I thought you said first round pick.
I forgot
I
about
thought you said
KP.
first round pick. My bad.
That's why I corrected myself and said a number 1 pick.
Okay.
So we've had, and I'm.
We haven't had a number 1 pick
I'm
since you.
I'm just saying, like a number 1 pick.
I got you. Continue. I got you.
But nothing higher than a 3. Let me say it that way. We've had first rounders, but nothing higher than 3. And even if we've had it 3 or higher, it's only been twice in 83. And then after that, almost a span of close to 30 years before the next one. Other teams, how many Cleveland first round picks have they had? LeBron, Kyrie, we can go on. They've had at least 6 in almost a 10-year period. We've had never. Orlando, I can't count how many. And not even, and top 10 picks, they probably had 20 plus. They had Penny, they had Shaq, they had McGrady. They've had a lot of greats go through Orlando and not win anything. I'm talking about greats, Hall of Famers, and they've never won anything.
So you got a good point. We are where we are without number 1 picks.
Houston that you were talking about, Olajuwon, number 1 pick, 2 number 1 picks in San Antonio. So Popovich had 2 number 1 picks. Guess what he got now? A number 1 pick, Wembayama. So they've had 3, and it's elite talent. All these teams that were elite, Kobe Bryant, Shaq, all these other, Shaq, they got traded him down, but he was a number 1 pick from Orlando. All these teams that you said had these superstar players that won have had number 1 picks. We have never had that, which is why we have to build like the Detroit that you were talking about. We have to. It's not an option. Teams don't want to trade with us. Teams don't want to pick with us. They don't want to rape us and take all that we have. So we had to figure out a way to build organically ourselves, build a winning culture. Like Golden State. Golden State was going through the same thing. They didn't have a higher pick from number 6. They didn't go for a home run player. They didn't get an elite talent. They built their squad, that's why people hate on Golden State. They built their squad and destroyed these super teams. They built it themselves and destroyed super teams with their picks. Clay was a late pick. Draymond Green was a late pick. The highest pick was Stephen Curry at 7. And that's it. So that's how they did the formula. And we just trying to repeat that process. So it's not just Detroit. Golden State won and did that formula and did it beautifully. They're the best team in the NBA ever. The highest wins over the Chicago Bulls. They won 74 games in a season with a team that didn't have an elite superstar. They didn't go chase this mega player. They built it themselves and then they won it. So it can be done. The formula's been there. It's not just Detroit. Detroit did it with those players or ragtag players that none of them were great offensively, mostly defensive team. But for the most part, Golden State set the formula and it can be done. The Heat, all the chips you guys got for the Heat, and by the way, that's Johnny Harris, our local Miami Heat fan base, Jay Blaze, my brother from another mother, same father, all right, the Most High. But Jay Blaze is your Heat. The picks that you guys got were from people that you rented out. The LeBron, the only player you guys had that y'all built on your own was Wade. Let's keep it a buck. All right, and then coach says, and salute coach, we appreciate you joining us as well. Patrick Ewing, correct? Ewing was the first ever lottery pick, and that's what we were talking about. Ewing was our third pick. Ewing was not number one. Was Ewing number one or number three? I'm pretty sure he was number three.
He was number one, dude. He was like the first.
I'm pretty sure he was number one.
He was number one. I
one overall.
I just double check, but if that was, that's our, even if it was, let's say he was, which I could be wrong. Even if it was Ewing and he was the number one pick, which in 83,
85.
80, was it 83? 85? I thought it was 83.
I believe it was 85.
Whatever. All right. So coach says he was number one. So one pick in 50 years or 49 years. Let's say 49 years or longer, because we've been even longer than that. We're the first team in the NBA. So we've had one in all these years. That's not suspect to you. But all these other random teams get 4 or 5. That's crazy to me. And you guys never had a number one pick? All right. 85. All right. Coach says it's 85. He never, you guys didn't have a number one pick, possibly, but you guys still paid for players. You got your players, you got your LeBron, and you guys.
Wait, what was Wade? What was Wade?
Wade was up there, but he wasn't a number one pick. I want to say Wade was 5. I'm not, and I got a computer in front of me, but the Heat are not important for me. Well, I'm pretty sure Harris is going to say where he was. I believe he was like 5th, or not even close to top 10, because I know he came out of Marquette, so he wasn't. They didn't go after him a lot. So he wasn't in a known school, but I think he was top 10 for sure.
I'm pretty sure he was top.
Yeah,
3.
I think he might have been 3.
He was top 3. Wasn't he in the Melo draft?
I want to say 3.
He did come out of, but you're talking about what, LeBron? He was 4th. Coach says
it was LeBron. It was LeBron, Melo. Oh no, it was LeBron. Then the kid that got drafted to Detroit. No, wait.
I think Chris Paul was in that trade too, in that draft, wasn't he?
I think they were all in the same draft. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure he's 3.
Yeah, because it was LeBron, Melo.
Yeah,
Ewing
and then
was
Wade.
picked 85, first round pick, first round overall. Ewing.
Nonetheless, he was up there. He wasn't a number one though. It's true. I think Miami hasn't had a number one either.
Bro, Darko, that's right. It was LeBron, Darko, Melo, and then Wade.
Oof, the Darko, damn Detroit.
Yeah, because Darko went to Detroit, and I remember seeing a documentary about Melo and how he thought he was going to Detroit, but he ended up
I don't think Detroit ever recovered after that, boy.
Nah, man.
Bron, Darko, Melo, Wade, and Bosch is what coach says. That sounds right. So Bron went first.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Darko Milicic went second. Melo, Wade, and Bosch. The Banana Boys. There you go. And I thought Chris Paul was there and he went like 10 something. Anyway, none to say that we ain't had a number one pick. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. It's not that we don't want to, not that we can't. Nobody's
He was drafted 5th.
That's why the way we're building now is important to what Leon's doing. That's what a lot of fans forget. And it's just you have someone who's building like how Golden State. Nobody was giving Golden State either picks. They weren't winning picks. Nobody wanted to play in Golden State. They wanted to play in LA, in both LAs. So that was just like a stepchild as well. So they had to build by acquiring talent. And that was even from the Davis era when he was doing the wham bam dunks on there. And then the highest pick they had, which ended up being Stephen Curry. The pick before.
Listen, I said, but I still stand on it. What I said was, you gotta have top 10 talent. I don't care where it comes from, but you gotta have top 10 talent. That's all I said.
I hear that. I don't agree because Golden State's the benchmark for not having to. Golden State never had a top. Is that true or not? Did they get a top tier talent?
You don't consider the second greatest shooter ever to play top 10 talent?
What pick was he? He was a 6th pick.
7th pick. 7th pick.
So that's something that they acquired. They didn't ring chase.
Again, I said top 10 talent. I said it don't matter where it comes from. It just has to be top 10 talent.
Okay. Now, what rank was Randall last year for what he was doing? He wasn't like 4th or 5th.
No idea, bro. Why are you even bringing up Randall?
I'll tell you, he was 4th or 5th in there. He's all NBA talent, and then you had him Brunson. Those are 2 top talents. Maybe not top 10 yet, but Randall was top. There was nobody.
Randall is nowhere near top 10 talent, bro.
What he was doing last year, he was 4th. He was only behind Embiid, Jokic, and I don't know who else for the stats and everything he was doing. He was like 4th. which is
Bro,
top.
you can cherry pick stats to make anybody look great. Top 10 talent, I'm talking about the top 10 in the NBA. LeBron, fucking Curry, the kid from Boston. Top 10 talent. Like if you were to break down every single player in the NBA, all 450, top 10, like the top 10.
Okay.
Doesn't matter what position.
Has Steph Curry been top 10 his entire career, or did it take him some time to get?
I don't know about entire career,
That's
but
what I'm telling
he is
you.
top 10 talent.
Golden State set the precedence of building your talent organically. They got him. They built him. He hurt his ankle for 2 years. It took him a while to get there. They didn't go after anybody. Everybody.
They didn't go after anybody?
Huh?
They didn't go after anybody?
Who did they go after?
They didn't go after the greatest 7-footer to ever play?
Greatest 7-footer. Who's that? Durant?
The greatest 7-footer shooter to ever play. They didn't go after him?
Durant is not the greatest anything.
He's not the greatest 7-foot shooter to ever play?
Maybe. I'm not giving to him maybe.
Name one 7-footer that's a shooter that's better than Durant.
Sabonis, his father.
Sabonis? Okay.
Sabonis is dad. If you ever seen his dad shoot,
All right.
probably the best 7-footer to shoot the ball.
Okay.
Now,
I-
if you're saying top 7-foot scorer, it's Durant.
Está bien, no. Ya, yo me caigo, ya.
No, but scorer, you're right. I'm a KD, let's say not a fan of KD, and they didn't go after him. He was desperate, and he left his own team, who just lost to them, to join the people that beat him up. They didn't go after him. They said, come join the most winningest team in the NBA. Prior to him, they were already 74-3 or 73, whatever it was. So they had already the best record ever in the history of NBA before him. They allowed him to join. They didn't chase him. They allowed him. They did him the solid. There's nothing that they were like, Durant, we need you. They just bodied Durant before that. And they said, all right, kid, come on over here. That's it.
Coach, that's a good one. Bird. Maybe Bird. Was Bird 7 foot? Is Bird 7 foot?
That's why I said Sabonis is dad.
Bird is not 7 foot though, right?
No, not he's like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, okay. All right.
But that scorer, he's definitely the best 7-foot scorer. I'll give him that. Scorer, he's multiple ways scoring, absolutely. Shooter, I'd probably give it to Sabonis' dad.
Hey, my guys, I gotta bounce. My battery's about to die.
Yeah.
God bless.
What do you think, my guy? I appreciate you.
All right,
Peace
bro.
out, guys.
Anyway, all that to say that who we have now, in my opinion, I think standing pat makes the most sense. I think Grimes and IQ are the puzzles for us to go to round 2 ECF and even championship mode, at least for the next 2 years. I think they fit in the timeline. I know Shy Legacy was saying to get another talent because of their timeline. I think the way we're built based off Leon, I think he has our older veterans, i.e. the Randalls, the Brunsons, the Josh Harts, the 26, 27-year-olds, that they're the main foundation of what we have. And I think by re-signing IQ, extending Grimes and RJ, those are going to be the future players to eventually get the baton when the Brunson, Randalls, who are the main players, when they go, these next youth, that's what I was talking about, building organically, because we don't have these high picks. You stick to your youth that you have. You don't just dump them. So you have some kind of future afterward of people who already know the system that they can take over. So in 2 years, RJ is going to be at that great level. Yes, he's starting slow. Yes, he has bad efficiency, which we're seeing more improvement now overall. But I think those young pieces are our future for the years to come. So you don't get rid of them. And then you can possibly turn these picks maybe into higher picks or trade up in the draft, later on to get a higher pick and then develop that way. That's what I think we'll do. I think they fit now. If Donovan comes after his player option comes up and we can get him without losing anything, that's ideal. So I definitely agree with you that Donovan, there's smoke there. There's fires. Salute to everybody in Hawaii. We lost fire. Salute to you guys. We pray for you guys deliverance, but if there's smoke, there's fire with Donovan. I do see that as probably the best option of that top 10 tier talent you're talking about. Embiid is going to be a very hard mountain to climb to get him. I do think he's great, like how you're saying. I think he would be a great talent. We would need something like that possibly to get there, but I think what it's going to cost is going to be way too much. That's why I like what we have now. I think our players, it's a solid 5 starters and a solid 5 bench players that know the system, that are experienced, that are tough in that next evolution. I think this team is the future of what we're going to see minimum 3 years. That's my opinion. I like what you said. I wasn't trying to change your mind, so I definitely like what you're saying. And again, half the fan base agrees with you, i.e. Donovan, i.e. Embiid, or another player. And like Jay Harris says in there, fire Tibbs, unload your clip. So you got half the fan base for sure that follow you. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I respectfully disagree. I just feel like those pieces are going to play a major role in getting that piece that we are going to need to take us over the top. And like I said, I just feel like with the whole Mitchell situation, that was the year before that. It's been like 3 years in a row now where Mitchell and the Knicks are tied together. And I just feel like it's a matter of time for that to happen. So I feel like it's going to be the perfect storm. I feel like Harden is going to force his way out of Philly. And then Embiid is going to be like, I want to get out of Philly. And then, everything is going to just, like I said, perfect storm. And the Knicks are going to use the youth to bring in the talent that fits the timeline a little better, in my opinion, when with the 29-year-old Embiid and a 27 or whatever it is, Mitchell Robinson. And then it'll be like...
You mean Donovan Mitchell? You said
yeah.
Mitchell.
Yeah. My bad. Donovan Mitchell.
I want to make sure
and then it'll be like, we'll have like a solid 3 to maybe 4 year window to win the chip. And then after that, you can do what teams normally do is blow it all up, send everybody packing, and start from scratch again. That's my humble opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, I like it. The Shot Legacy agrees with you. He says it's really not solid though, and he's talking about I guess what I was talking about with the young players. Harris says they begged KD, Draymond, and Stephen was wearing knee pads. Oh my God. I won't say they begged him, man. I won't say that.
I'm pretty sure they did, man.
I think Draymond did, and they were, I don't know what. None of anyway. They won.
It don't even matter. Yeah.
They won without him before.
Yeah.
So at that point, but
yeah,
I do hear. I like Donovan Mitchell. I definitely can see that happening for sure. For the reality, I can see that because if they don't get rid of him this year, they only got 1 more year. At the end of this year, they got 1 more year, which is a player option, and then their leverage to trade for him is going to be very small because he can just say, "I'm not going to sign with whoever you trade me to," kind of like a Bradley Beal type of thing, and they're not going to get anything. So the most that they can get would be this year. If they can do it before training camp, they'll get the most that they can from. That's why Cleveland fans and all their podcasters are tripping, because if they don't get, and he's all over New York, so get rid of him now while you can get something. This would be the year that they can get more picks from us or whatever it would be now. Next year is like, we'll just wait another year and we'll just get them for free. So for him, I can see that. Embiid is going to be hard because he just got on that 5-year. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong because a lot of people see it. There is always an option. There's always money. There's always players. There's always picks to make it happen. So it's definitely a possibility to get him. But if they get rid of Harden and then it's going to be hard. Unless they get a super haul for him. I just don't know how that's going to happen. I mean, you'd have to get, if you got 5 picks for Rudy Gobert for an MVP, you're talking about 7. Money to match, and then what, you know what I mean? So that's just what I'm looking at. I'm not saying it's impossible.
I mean, but we do have, to be fair, we do have 11 picks to play with. We have to use them, or we're just going to lose them.
No, and I'm okay with that. But I'm okay with picks. I understand the pick part. Pick, I get it. Money to match, you're talking about $50 to $59 million just to match before you could even have conversation on picks. That's at least a Randall. That's at least a Brunson and RJ.
No, we're not gonna do that, man.
I'm talking money. Like the biggest money makers are Jalen Brunson, Randall, RJ.
No, that's what we're gonna pair him up with. So, I mean, Philly's not gonna want that because again, they're gonna rebuild. So after they lose Harden, again, your best piece is Embiid, and you got a 20-year-old, 21-year-old Maxey. And if I were Daryl Morey, what I would do is I'd take my best piece and get the most that I can from him and rebuild around Maxey and then go from there.
What's the best players that you would take from New York? You don't think?
Oh, I'm gonna strip you. If you're not gonna give me JB and all them, I'm gonna take I'm probably gonna take RJ for sure. I'm gonna definitely take Mitch Robinson because I'm gonna need a center. And at that point, I'm probably gonna want IQ because he's a very efficient scorer.
And who else?
And then you can probably throw in like a DiVincenzo or a Hart or Hartenstein, whoever. I don't know. You're gonna have to figure it out somehow. But like I said, the core that's gonna be is gonna be Jalen Brunson, Randall, and Embiid. And then after that, Donovan Mitchell's gonna come in next or the year after that. And then that's gonna be the true title contending team. And that's when you bring pieces in to fill out the roster because you're gonna have your older players that are gonna want to chase for a ring. So you're gonna have your vet minimums just going everywhere, and then you're gonna have like David West when he was with Golden State, like Andre Iguodala when he was with Golden State. Those kind of players. You're gonna have those players that are still very serviceable, but they're at the end of their career and they want that ring. That's what you're gonna have with the Knicks here.
Maybe you should go to Golden State for Wiggins. You got to match money there too, picks and fillers, because Wiggins making 25 mil. You're gonna have to throw in another 25 from Golden State. I don't know who that would be, and then picks and fillers. He could, but that's a lot of paper. They're already at their salary. They're already over the super luxury tax, coach. So Golden State they need to shed money like now, like take that away. They need to take like James Harden and trade him for somebody just to free up that 36 mil for Harden. That money would work for them just to free up that money because they're already over the super luxury tax.
I think I saw a video where they were saying Harden was going to go to either the Lakers or the Clippers, and I could see either of that happening because the league loves to help LeBron, and the Clippers, I believe, have enough to get Harden, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know. It depends. We'll see what happens, though. Like I said, I'm fairly certain that Harden is going to be gone no later than the trade deadline, and I'm pretty sure Embiid is going to follow.
Yeah, but what Coach said makes absolute perfect sense. Philly is not going to send him to any team in the East Coast, which I can totally agree with that.
Yeah, I could agree with that too.
You know we'll see what happens. We would want him, we'd be maybe a third team involved to get him. So as much as people say that, that's Knicks for clicks, or like, oh, Knicks is the best team to land on because we got the most salary and picks, we would just be a third team facilitating the trade for the most part. That's what I'm saying. Embiid would be Donovan. There's smoke there in the future, but as we are now, I think we're a very good, solid team. I think we can be playoffs back to back for years to come, 2 to 3 years, easy. Where we go from there depends on the development of these players. That's why this year is huge for RJ, IQ, and Grimes. Our season is going to be pregnated on them and their development. So based off how they come, if we can get FIBA RJ to the Knicks this year, ain't no stop.
From day one.
I agree with you. From day one, I agree with that. If we get day one FIBA RJ, fire. If we get Grimes to give us 12 a game, I'm hoping for 14. But if we can get 12 a night from Grimes, which is huge. I think it was like at 6 or 8 last year. We can get him to 12, dunzo. And IQ to do what he's doing. I think IQ there's no doubt we're going to keep IQ. Whether we offer him something that he may not like, he says nah, and then we make him a restricted free agent, and then the team maxes him out next year and we just match that offer. No matter what, I think IQ's going to be with us. So whether he's not happy with the offer we make him, we still play him the rest of the year on a rookie deal. We make him a restricted free agent, and then next year another team tries to give him some retarded deal, and we just match it. We just match it, and he stays a Knick no matter what. So for the next 2 years, RJ, IQ, and Grimes, they're in there. RJ is probably not going anywhere again, unless the Donovan thing happens and they say give us RJ, maybe. But other than that, I think we're solid at 2, and I think we're gonna make a big run this year, but it's predicated on IQ, Grimes, and RJ. And any final thoughts besides get rid of everybody for Embiid?
No real final thoughts. Just fire Tibbs, bring somebody in, take us over the top. I'm excited. I'm excited for this season. I'm not gonna lie to you. But yeah, no real final thoughts. Just I hope all our guys stay healthy. There's no injuries. And I hope we make it far.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Shy Legacy's IQ said he wanted to start, and that's already an issue. Yeah, I mean, he wants to start. There's a lot of people who are coming off the bench that wants to start. If there was a team that wanted him as a starter, I think they would have made that offer and we would have already been negotiating a trade. And if there is a team that wants him to start that he may want to go to, that's where we have the leverage for the most part now. And I know Raw was saying that IQ has the leverage. In a sense, he does, but he's still under contract. We don't have to pay him this year. If we extend him or give him the basic offer to keep him as a restricted free agent, the Knicks still have the leverage. Even if he wants 100 mil, let's say we are from 80, he says, nah, I want to get 100. We make him a restricted free agent. We see what team would want to give him the bag. We match the bag. We keep him. And then with that money, then we use it as leverage for trade to an Embiid or Donovan or something like that. If that's the case that he says he wants to start. Then we match his money, and then the team that wanted him, you wanted him. Now let's match money for money. Trading him now makes no sense because he's on a rookie deal. You're giving him up for nothing. So that's why you want to get him under a contract, so then you can use a big contract to get you a better player like how you're talking about, or a Wiggins maybe, or something like that, because his contract and salary's bigger now, just like RJ. That's why he had the poison pill, because we couldn't trade him on his $10 million he was making. Now he's making 23 mil, so now if we look for somebody, we can trade for that 23 million salary rather than the 10. So just makes sense. So I don't see IQ going anywhere no matter what, even if he's a restricted free agent. We're gonna match whatever offer they give us, and we flip that. And we still got Grimes for 2 more years, this year and then next year, on a rookie deal, and he's been our starter for this will be his 2nd year, which is fire. So we got a rookie at that deal. I'm excited for the Knicks this year. We'll talk about the schedule and all that anyway. But the Knicks, we got something here. We building.
We should make a win-loss prediction for the whole year.
Oh, we were saying that before. I don't think you were on here, but go ahead. Tell me what you on who we have. Tell me, as this team that we have now, or do you think mid-year we get someone?
No. I mean, like we check the schedule, we break it down. Like they're gonna win this game, they're gonna win this game, they're gonna lose this game. Like break it down the whole season. You know what I mean?
We can do that next week if you want, next Sunday.
I think that would be dope.
All right, we'll do it next Sunday, and if you guys give us your ideas, we'll go down. I like that topic, so we'll go next week on Sunday. Alex is already cheating. He's already pulling up the schedule and started writing down.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna start doing my research real quick, bro.
So next Sunday, we're gonna break down the schedule, and then we'll go see what games you think we're gonna win. You guys give us your options. Hey, salute Keith Watkins. Appreciate you. Hey guys, sorry I missed the show today. I'll watch the replay. Any way to donate? Oh man, Keith, man, what a blessing. You'd be the first one to even donate. We'll see if we can set that up. Appreciate you even for considering that, for donating. That means a lot. We appreciate you guys. We don't do it for donations, but we definitely appreciate it. But we just do it to have fun with you guys, and you guys are family to us, so we appreciate that. So hopefully I can set something up, but we definitely appreciate you guys. Salute Shy, salute Keith, salute
Word Shy, salute
Harris. Everybody's watching. If you guys watching replays, you guys make it awesome, because we enjoy doing it with you guys, politicking, chopping it up, maybe not agreeing with us. That's okay. We don't always agree, but we have fun disagreeing. You know what I'm saying?
It's all love. It's all love.
Over a little bit of steak, and maybe you know, not pass you the salt and pepper because I'm feeling salty a little bit about your comment. Appreciate you guys. Watch the replay. Appreciate you, Keith. We'll get at you guys. Appreciate you guys till la semana que viene. Next week, Friday. Keep watching some FIBA. We'll top it up a little bit about some FIBA on Friday. Next week is when it starts. The big deal. The big deal. We're going to be over in Manila. So I appreciate you guys. Salute to you all. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all.